Hello again, it's Game Time presented by Kia from our NBA TV World Headquarters in Atlanta. Matt, Kevin, Wes right there in the aftermath of a Rockets 24-point win over the Portland Trail Blazers. They now have the longest win streak in the NBA at 8 in a row. Let's show you how it happened tonight in Houston, where the Rockets were ready to launch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
With an astronaut. Yeah.
He's really going for the whole Rocket theme.
I see that.
Yeah.
He's into it.
There had to be a reason he wore that to the game.
Was the game in Huntsville, Rocket City?
No, I don't believe it was.
There's a three. There's a rocket. He threw it for a rocket and went in. He got fouled on a three-pointer. It happens all the time.
23 at halftime, James Harden. Float over Hassan Whiteside.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How do you have two guys fall down and not be on the best scorer in the league? He's playing the guitar on the way down.
Harden comes back with a little step back. There's just nothing you can do about that. Really, your goal should be just not to foul, which you see your little failed.
Yeah, but then you give up the three.
But he hit
come
the
back
three
down.
anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right. Kicked out the leg.
Second quarter, Russell Westbrook in triple-double range.
Well, he's going to get his rebounds. I know that. It's a matter of assists. He's, one-man break. I mean, he just absolutely pushed it down their throat. But you know what? Look at this, Matt. No one in Portland is getting back with any kind of cohesiveness at all. Oof, bad transition.
It takes two to create a triple-double.
Yes.
But this is the pace we talk about.
Yep. This is what's got them top 4 in the league in pace right now.
That's right. Huge jump from bottom of the league to the top this year.
The ball always dictates pace. If you push it up fast, everybody will run to catch up.
Houston and Memphis probably make the two biggest leaps this season in terms of pace ranking from bottom to top so far. The difference is Houston's winning all these games. Anybody could play fast, right? I mean, if that was your only goal, you could lead the league in pace every year.
That's right.
But if you lead the league in pace or you're top 5 and you're winning 8 in a row, that's better.
Much better, yeah.
That's
Really
my analysis. That's why I'm on this side of the desk.
Okay, that's what I tell you what. I'm going to make the note. Hold on, I won't be able to speak for a while as I write that down.
Eighth straight win for the Rockets. Russ gets his 141st career triple-double. Not good for Portland these days. No Kyrie Irving, obviously no Kevin Durant. I mean, they're there. They just weren't playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie.
He was the only guy cooking tonight for Brooklyn. He made some shots, and they're struggling. They don't look anything like the team last year. Brooklyn doesn't. They're just no pace, no energy. And you know what? Indiana's starting to come on. They're starting to find a little bit of rhythm right now.
Well, struggled early in the year, being fantastic of late, and they're dealing with injuries too.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of them. Turner was out a bunch of time. Lamb's been out. McConnell, Brogdon. Sabonis goes for 16 and a career high, 18 rebounds in this game. The Holiday boys getting to it. Aaron Holiday and then Justin Holiday. They're starting for the Pacers. How cool is that, by the way?
Yeah.
Know your Holidays. Drew is in New Orleans.
They've got Drew over there. It'd be fantastic.
Well, they've made it easier because you used to have to really track all 3 of them, and now 2 of them are on the same team.
Yeah, they're bunching them up.
And Aaron Holiday, this little kid, the point guard, he is good. He's got like a great deal of confidence to him. Campbell High out of Los Angeles. We worked him out multiple times. The Pacers got a good one here.
Why don't you take him?
He went back to school. We should have guaranteed him.
You should have.
We should have.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. Second.
Indiana by 29 on the night as Brooklyn returns from their road trip. Raptors also back from a road trip out west with the Charlotte Hornets in town. Charlotte's played 3 straight dramatic finish kind of games, and that streak ended in Canada.
Yes, it did. And I'll tell you what.
And early.
Yes. Yeah. Let's give Nick Nurse just a ton of credit up there in Toronto. The coach for the Toronto Raptors. Nick Nurse is doing a great job. He's getting these guys playing, and I did not think they'd be a playoff team. As a matter of fact, I thought they'd be one of those teams that just kind of faded away after Kawhi left.
You know, I'm surprised how many people felt like they just weren't going to be a playoff team. I thought they'd be a lower tier playoff team.
But no one knew or thought that Siakam was going to go from 17 a game to 27 a game.
No.
Nor did we think that this team would be one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. And they have been.
How about OG Anunoby having a career night?
Making everything tonight. And hey, Fred VanVleet has played so well for these guys, and just, you know, again, so they're finding their rhythm. Ooh, good pass.
Siakam out and running. VanVleet with the steal.
Ooh, Howard.
No, Norman Powell is chasing. And then Marc Gasol to Anunoby. Career high night, 24 points. Raptors set a franchise record with 40 assists on the night. They put up 132 and beat Charlotte. And keep in mind, this is without Kyle Lowry, without Serge Ibaka. They're 3-2 since Lowry went out.
No, and we know Masai Ujiri has done a fantastic job. Bobby Webster, there's the GM. But Terrence Davis, another undrafted player who's been fantastic for this team, defends. He's had 7 assists tonight, efficient offensively. Really nice find again. They just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, remember last time the Cavaliers and Knicks got together at Madison Square Garden? That was 8 days ago. Cavs blew out the Knicks, and it was so bad it necessitated a post-game press conference with the management coming out in a bizarre scene at Madison Square Garden. Cleveland looked like a different team with the throwback uniforms, and New York played like a different team. Julius Randle had a night, 23 in the first half, as the Knicks would take a 13-point lead at the break.
And no Kevin Love in this one, right?
No Kevin Love, no Larry Nance Jr.
And Kevin Love's been really good for the Cavs. And there was a lot of, unknown or talk about would he have value to that franchise after signing a big contract and being hurt last year.
I think his value is going to be when they trade him to a contender. I think Kevin Love will get moved.
That's another question. Would he have value elsewhere?
Yes,
and I think the answer is yes.
For sure.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely.
He's been very good for them.
Very good.
When he's been on the floor so far this season. That was R.J. Barrett for 3, and then Marcus Morris, Randall, 2 of his 30. The first Knick to put up 30 this season. Is that right?
I'm sure.
Sounds right.
I mean, you get random 30-point games here and there.
They're bad. It's hard to get 30.
And that's analysis from your side of the desk.
Yeah, they're bad.
From the Hall of Fame
bad.
player. They're bad.
They're bad.
They've won 2 out of 3.
Hold on, let me tell you something. You don't have your GM and a person who runs Madison Square Garden say, we stink after a game. If you're not bad, they're bad.
They didn't. That's not a quote, by the way. The Knicks, after a season-high 123 points, are 2-1 since the press conference.
Right.
Okay, that press conference worked.
It worked, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll check in once again on Dallas. Luka Doncic, now a rebound away from a triple-double. He's got 38.
Ooh.
Getting it tight, though.
Spurs are tightening it up, yeah.
Billy Crystal talking to longtime Clipper Chris Paul. I guess it was a long time. He was there a while.
Billy Crystal's a longer time Clipper.
Yeah.
He suffered through the bad Clipper years, but now
he's been a Clipper fan for most of their time in L.A. Chris Paul was there not as long, but long enough for them to.
We got a new element coming out there, Matt.
OKC in L.A.
Stacked.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. Time for Stacks fueled by IHOP.
It's about teammates. Come on.
Oh, it's a couple of teammates working together. That's what they're
You can't make pancakes alone. You got to work together.
Unless it's one giant pancake.
No one likes.
You ever been served the giant pancake?
No.
It's like 12 inches wide.
No, you don't want to do that. You want to have multiple small ones.
And Russell Westbrook combined for 64
But when you watch these highlights,
I
know we're talking about being stacked in IHOP. The defense for Portland, there's nobody.
No.
I mean, it's a layup line.
It wasn't good. I could make an argument for the giant pancake, but I'm going to send you to Dallas instead, where it's 110-107. It is crunch time. Mark Followill and Derek Harper are on the call.
Another rebound for Luka. Gonna have to do something quick. A bobble by Cleveland. Porzingis to beat the clock. Aldridge took it away. Fell to Finney-Smith. Prior answered. Gonna be reviewed. Has to be reviewed. On the floor, the shot counts. An absolute miracle for Dorian Finney-Smith, but it has been his kind of night.
And when it's third night,
Review for a shot clock violation. I mean, this one is so close.
yeah, I personally, human eye, think he got it up and got it in before the clock went off.
Count it.
Yeah.
Kane Fitzgerald.
There's time left right there. Great presence, though, by Dorian. And to your point, it's his night. How ironic it ends up in his hands. And he just gets it up top.
On a night when Luka has 39 points, 11 boards, and 11 assists. I don't know, mate. Skinner, are you going to talk to Dorian Finney-Smith?
All right, it's a great debate, right? Because on Luka's career-high night when he has a triple-double, do you go with Dorian Finney-Smith? But I was just told that if Luka gets one more point, he, along with LeBron James, will be the only one of 2 players in NBA history to have a 40-point triple-double under the age of 21.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good, I suppose.
I mean, think about this. Hey, Luka, you got your career-high triple-double. We're going to go talk to Dorian. What a great night for the Mavs. It's been fun.
Well, they've got to bring it over the finish line. 1:14 left. Mavs 112, Spurs 107. You know, a minute ago, a graphic flashed up on the screen, and there's been so much going on. Haven't had a chance to mention it. The last time Dallas scored 110 or more points in a regular season game against San Antonio was January 8th, 2010. A stretch of, I looked it up a second ago, it's 37 or 38 games in a row that Dallas hasn't reached 110 points against San Antonio. They have tonight. Now the question is, will it be enough in the last minute 14?
If that's the question, I say yes to that question, mainly because of Luka and his late game heroics, his ability to finish. He's making free throws now. I don't think there's any doubt. You just got to get a stop.
I mean, we just talked about it. On a night where Dorian's going to make a shot like that, surely you bring that thing home, right? I mean, come on.
We shall see, my friends.
We shall see.
San Antonio, 1 timeout left. Dallas has 2. No fouls to get here at the end of the game. Steal! Cleveland steals it! Now Luka can run it under a minute.
Here's the screen by Kleber.
He just made the defensive play. Luka driving, lost the ball. Aldridge keeps it in play. Mills in the backcourt, almost lost it. Aldridge fires it up ahead. Now it's Rudy Gay, a reluctant three-point shooter, but takes it and makes it.
It's a big shot by a guy that doesn't like to take threes.
29% for the year on threes going into tonight. Makes it a 2-point game.
Oh, here's the mismatch right here.
Now it's Luka. Deep three over 4. Luka Magic! What an answer to put an exclamation point on his career-high night.
You knew right off the bat, once you got the switch, he could do basically what he wanted, chose to step back late in the game, and made the defense pay. Luka greatness.
What an unbelievable feeling and privilege it is to sit in this chair, Harp, and be able to watch what he has done at such a young age and the literally sky's the limit kind of future that's out in front of him.
You know, we frequently use the word special, and I don't think there's any doubt if you sat here and watched this guy perform that you couldn't see how special this kid is. He's tremendous. He never seems to amaze me. He's done so many incredible things as a player. Tonight's no different. You know, he did it in the first quarter, but then this is the time that you really have to do it.
Yeah.
And he stepped up to the forefront to hold San Antonio at bay.
He and LeBron James, the only players, as Skin told us a moment ago, with a 40-point triple-double before the age of 21, the only 40-point triple-double in Mavs history.
You can stop talking about his age.
Yeah.
Because it obviously doesn't make any difference. This guy is just getting it done. That's 5.
It is. 5-second call. 5-second call, San Antonio.
Maybe 7.
On their last timeout.
Pop scratching his head. Not sure what to think of that one.
The lack of urgency when Rudy Gay was standing there holding the ball, Harp.
Yeah, he had it a long time. I was shocked that the whistle didn't blow sooner.
Into Luka in the backcourt. DeMar DeRozan on his hip. DeRozan up on him. 3-second different shot clock, game clock, but the Mavs up by 5. No foul yet. Luka got the blender spinning, and he's on the floor. He dug it out, trying to get the ball over to Seth Curry, and he does! An assist from his knees! How? 4 seconds left. Mavericks are going to win it. As Jack Buck once said, I do not believe what I just saw. Luka, incredible all the way until the final seconds, Art.
Well, start to finish, he's been sensational. There's no question about that. And still tapped it over to Seth Curry to put a lid on this win. And, you know, there's certain guys, certain coaches, certain players in the league that they're like E.F. Hutton. When they talk, people listen. And I'm curious to what Popovich is going to say about this performance. They're skinning Luka.
There he is, skin with Luka after 42 points, 12 assists, 11 boards.
All right, thank you, Followell. I'm here with Luka. Cuban giving him a big hug. We have a career-high 42, triple-double. This is your career high tonight, Luka. Did this game feel different for you than some of the others?
I mean, it's always special, you know. It's a rivalry, you know. We always want to win every game, but I would say one word: Dorian Finney-Smith. That's it.
Yeah, Dorian had an incredible game as well. That ridiculous shot at the end. In the first quarter, you had a career high for a quarter with 17. What was going on in your mind as all those shots were dropping for you?
Today when I slapped the net, I dreamed like I was going to score 16 in the first quarter, so then I scored 17. So I was like, dreams don't come true. But no, I mean, amazing win. Great effort, great defense, and just amazing.
All right, and obviously you're exhausted. I could see how gassed you were. What were those couple minutes there like at the very end for you?
I mean, it was, you know, intense. I appreciate the crowd was in. They're amazing fans. They always are here for us in the loss or win, so I just appreciate them, and they just lift us up.
All right, great job, Luka. Great shoes tonight, too, homie. Well done. There he goes, Luka Doncic, career-high triple-double.
Walking out of the box.
117 to 110. Luka Doncic, man, he's good. 42, 11, and 12. 4 of his 6 triple-doubles this season have been of the 30-point variety, which is pretty good for a 20-year-old. I know the guys at the broadcaster say we shouldn't talk about his age anymore, but sometimes you have to remind yourself he's 20 years old.
It's remarkable when, like, the names that come up are Magic and LeBron. I mean,
over and over again.
Over again. And it's a new, like, record that he's setting or breaking. Phenomenal for performance. True franchise player for Dallas.
No
Long
question.
term.
Yeah, absolutely. He just got a great feel for the game, makes everybody better, and really enjoys playing. You watch him, he's out there, he's got a smile on his face, he's laughing.
Yep.
He does some crazy things, and he laughs about it. I mean, he's got a really good persona. He's like a guy I think that's really fun to play with, but highly skilled. Finds everybody off the dribble. I said better shape, so he's able to get to the paint and finishing around the basket. I saw a statistic where he was finishing last year around the hoop at about 43%, which is low. He's up to 67, 68. Now he's just stronger, can take some contact and finish.
Well, his shooting percentage from 2-point range has jumped up like 10, 12% this season already. That speaks to shot selection and strength as well. We saw the Instagram videos of him working out over the summer, and apparently those were real. Like, anybody can post 10 seconds of themselves working out, but he looks physically different.
Yeah, no, this is, you know, usually you see an international prospect or player, their rookie year, they're just okay, but they take a big jump their second year. He was fantastic as a rookie, and he's continued to take that big jump. On top of that, we often talk about the players like Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum, who naturally have a little bit of a sophomore slump, and Luka's not doing that.
No, not at all. And you talked about how fun he is to play with and to watch. That last play was not by design.
No, Rick Carlisle,
his knees, but that was
Carlisle drew that up. He said, I want you to dribble it through there, get it on the floor, kick it off his foot, and we'll watch this. Like, Rick Carlisle's a hell of a coach. Like, you can't draw this up. It takes weeks of practice to do this. 74 dribbles on the 78th dribble it off his foot, get it,
knock
tap
over
it off
the
foot,
defender,
and then give it to one hand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rick Carlisle's an amazing coach.
Your old Celtics teammate, Rick
Old
Carlisle.
Celtics.
You guys probably talked about that on the
We drew
team
this
plane.
up. We drew this up a couple times.
You helped him with this one.
I helped him with this one. That's a hell of a play.
Back in '86 during a playoff flight.
Did you pick the shoes too?
No,
'Cause
those
they've
are
got a little
brutal
Celtic
shoes.
green.
Nobody could have envisioned the neon shoes back in '86.
Those are brutal shoes. You should not wear neon green out there with that blue.
If you're that good though, you could wear those shoes.
No,
Wear whatever color you want.
That's
you know?
right.
it deters from the
Even
from
an
the
old school
effectiveness.
coach like you would allow him to wear whatever kind of shoes he wants.
You have to nowadays because they all wear some weird shoes. Yeah.
So the Dallas Mavericks moved to 8-5 on the season, and the Spurs, with their 6th straight loss, are 5-9.
Yeah.
Is this? I guess the question would be: is this team underachieving, or is this just not that good a version of the Spurs?
Their defense is not what it used to be. I used to always marvel at the Spurs. They had bad individual defenders, but they would somehow find a way to be a really good defensive team. They're not. This is a better effort tonight, though. You know, for them overall.
And Pop said that the other night, even after he got ejected. He said their effort generally was pretty good, even though they didn't win the game.
Right. I thought tonight, again, their effort was good. If you keep putting in effort, it'll come. Pops will make a couple adjustments. He'll get this thing squared away. But I don't know how good they are. I really don't. I look at that team, and I don't know. Where's their ceiling? Where are they at? Are they a middle-of-the-road team? Are they now becoming a middle-of-the-road to the end of the playoff-type team? And so I'm not sure what the future holds here for the Spurs. A lot of decisions to be made with the Spurs organization here soon.
You know, I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, it's hard to judge because they have overachieved so many years where you looked at them. How many times were they buried because of age? Oh, the Spurs are too old. They can't contend. And all of a sudden they wind up in the conference finals or whatever. But you look at the roster, and it doesn't seem like a special roster for sure. I don't know that talent-wise they're that good, but again, it's hard to judge because they have played beyond their apparent talent so many times.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it's a little concerning. A couple nights ago against Portland, they're down 23 tonight to start the game.
Yeah.
You know, they're down 14. Both games they come back and, you know, show that competitive fight to get back in the game. But it feels like this roster has a core of young players, the Lonnie Walkers, DeJounte Murrays, you know, Derek Whites, to work with and develop. And then there's an older group of LaMarcus and DeMar, and we saw, you know, Bryn Forbes is kind of
Rudy
one of the
Gay
guys in the
and-
middle. Rudy Gay, certainly older. And it feels like
Patty Mills, older.
Yeah, Patty Mills. It feels like there's like kind of two versions of this Spurs team. And historically, it's a patient organization. They've always been able to figure it out. But if they don't, in an incredible West, and we talked about it earlier, easy schedule to this point, you know, it's going to be tough for them going forward unless they get it fixed quick.
They've so often played beyond the sum of their parts, right? And that's not happening so far this season. At 5 and what did I just say? 5-9 now in the Western Conference. All right, let's get you an update from Phoenix. Boston finally had their 10-game win streak come to an end last night. Looks like they're going to get back on the horse tonight in Phoenix, but Marcus Smart goes down the baseline there.
And Marcus Smart is
He's
down.
defending. Let's take another look if we can.
They do not need anything happening to that guy. He's kind of heart and soul of their team.
Absolutely.
You know,
Bounces back up. Looks like he's affected on the right side. I don't know if that was an ankle or a knee. Let's see it again.
Any more, you just kind of hope it's just an ankle. Yeah,
That's an
definite ankle. Yeah. Ouch.
He's so tough. He'll be playing again, though.
We didn't go spit on it and come back out and finish the game.
Why is spit required?
Because you spit on it, that's why.
Let's take you out to Utah. The Minnesota Timberwolves are in town. It's a good one, 86-83. Karl Anthony Towns leads all scorers with 20 on the night. Craig Bowerjack and Matt Harpring, as always, are on the microphone.
Well, Karl Anthony Towns wants that basketball. Jeff Green did a great job of not allowing Cat Towns to get an easy pass inside.
See, that's been a real struggle for Conley. That shot, which I think would be money, rolls off. Rudy comes out to the three-point line. Towns reaches out. They double it. Inside, ball ricochets nicely done. Royce O'Neal hugs the baseline and saves it. Here comes Jeff Green, front court. Drives inside, out of bounds, and a foul.
Well, that's what the Jazz hang their hat on. Great defense, and that last stretch, great team defense. Coming down, double teaming Karl Anthony Towns, making him cough the ball up.
Travion Graham picks up his 5th foul. See, we expected a lot of free throws in this game because you look at Minnesota, they average 27 free throws a night. That's 3 in the NBA. The Jazz are number 5 at 26.5. Not the case tonight. Vivint Smart Home Arena, the perfect place for your next group event. Great seats for Jazz basketball, dining, private events, and more. 355-DUNK to learn more. 19 free throws for Utah tonight, only 8 by Minnesota.
Yeah, the Jazz have done a great job of not sending them to the line. And we also talked about the bench with this free throw made right here. Joe Ingles with 11 and also Jeff Green with 11 off the bench. So that's 22 points between them. That's a good sign for the Jazz.
88-85. Nearly halfway through the 4th quarter, Towns launches and hits another 3. That's number 5 for Cat Towns tonight. 5 of 12 from behind.
By the way, Craig Bowerjack and Thurl Bailey on the call tonight in Utah.
As always.
Matt Hartring must have the night off.
Well, as always, it was Matt Hartman.
It's usually Matt Hartman.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes it's Thurl, usually Matt.
Tonight it was Thurl.
Come on, Hartman. How about that shot by Karl-Anthony Towns? I know you love your 6'11 guy taking that step back.
No, but it went right in. I mean,
did go in.
He started off the year shooting the 3 like crazy. Went into a little bit of a, kind of got back to average, but he's making a lot of them. I'd like to see him on the box a little bit more, depending on who's guarding him. They do run a 5-out offense, and so the paint's wide open, which should lead to a lot of dribble drive. And so, playing with those centers now that can spread, it just opens up the paint. And if you got any kind of dribble drive great game, you should really take advantage of that. And sometimes I don't see the Wolves. I think they take so many threes.
Yeah.
They take a bazillion threes.
Well, I wanted to ask Wes, as someone who's been in charge of building a team, it's a little bit of a blessing and a curse that Cat is their best three-point shooter because he's also a really good interior scorer.
Yeah, no, it really helps if you have a great shooting big. You need somebody, a guard, a wing, that can make plays, get in the paint. Jeff Teague can do that. The question with Jeff Teague has always been about consistency. But Karl-Anthony Towns, at this point, I mean, he's being guarded by Rudy Gobert. Rudy's being asked to defend that step back. That's really, really tough.
This is one of the times when you have a lot of versatility. I don't mind Cat on the perimeter because Rudy Gobert is a very good interior defender.
That's right.
So you just take him out of the paint, it opens up. But I'm with you. It's Antetokounmpo fit with Brook Lopez so perfectly well because there was just that paint. And so you need that guy that can put his head. I'm not sure Teague, to me, can get in the paint and can find people enough for me. He can get in the paint, but I don't like his vision in there. You need a guy that can get in the paint and find everybody around the floor with three-point shooters.
And Jeff Teague is unlikely to be the point guard of the future here, of course, as we know. Yeah. He's got an expiring contract this year. But it's curious because the fit we're talking about, why it was, in Golden State. Help me out with the name.
Who are we talking about?
The point guard.
Steph Curry?
No. D'Angelo
Russell.
Because he's not the playmaking. He's not the breakdown point guard.
Right.
He's a similar kind of slow it down, play from behind the line and not create for everybody else.
Utah, by the way, excuse me, I'll try to get the voice back.
You sound like Thurl Bailey.
I sound nothing like Thurl Bailey. I wish I could sound like Thurl Bailey.
If you talk like this, you'd sound like Thurl Bailey.
I wish I could speak clearly right now.
You can't.
88 all. We'll revisit in Salt Lake City in a little bit as Game Time presented by Kia continues.
Emergency timeout, 20-second for Matt. Come on.
Boston on the road. Good bounce-back game after losing in Sacramento last night. Jaylen Brown. Sure, why not? Wow. It's a 17-point lead. Boston's 10-game win streak came to an end last night in Sacramento. Good bounce back tonight, and they're going to wrap it up 99-85. Hopefully the cost wasn't too severe with Marcus Smart going down with an ankle injury after 30 minutes. He had 17 on the night.
The way this Boston team is playing, though, it'll be next man up. Carson Edwards or somebody else. If Marcus Smart is out for any extended period, they've just been able to.
You know what? When you have good ball movement, the next guy up always can play well because the ball gets pumped around, everybody's touching it, and there's a flow to the game. Next man up doesn't work very well if you never touch the ball and you stand in the corner or something. So I like the way the Celtics are playing.
Jason Tatum with 26 tonight. Obviously, the Celtics already without Gordon Hayward for an extended period of time. In addition to the two starters they lost via free agency in the offseason with Kyrie Irving and Al Horford both moving elsewhere. And Kemba Walker tonight with 19 and 5, and Boston is back on the horse again. Back on it's not a win streak, but back with a win.
Oh, you can't start a win streak unless you win one. Then two.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Two's a streak, small streak, but it's a streak.
What's impressed you about this team?
Their ball movement, their shot selection, actually, and ball movement with a purpose. Sometimes it seemed like last year with the Celtics, the coach would say, I want 5 passes. So they were just like, then the sixth guy would get it and just take a bad shot. They took so many bad shots last year. This year, the ball moves from side to side. Guys are cutting. Their spacing is better. Their flow is better. There's just a lot of possessions. Even if they miss, you go, oh, nice shot generated by that offense. Hard drive, kick, next pump fake, pass, drive. And it's the second pass that I love. The ball comes out of a double team or any kind of pick and roll up. The guy gets it immediately. It's just out of his hands. So guys are getting good looks, and there's a flow to it. And I very seldom look at teams, what their shooting percentage is if I'm watching a game carefully. I'll see what shots are they getting. And if they're getting great shots, you're saying they're fine. Now, they missed them tonight. Right. But then there's, conversely, there'll be nights I go like, you can't live on those shots. Because, I mean, they made hand in the face threes and everything else in prayers. You can't live on that. They're generating good shots. They don't turn it over. So that makes their offense doubly potent.
Yeah. Well, thoughts on, I'm going to go back to you on this because there was so much talk about, especially in the offseason, about the locker room and the effect of Kyrie Irving leaving, Kemba Walker coming in. Kyrie Irving has said basically he wasn't as present as he needed to be last year and he wasn't a great teammate by his own admission. Do you see evidence that there's a better atmosphere in Boston this season?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot. When the ball moves freely, there's a freedom on the floor, and there's a trust, and there's just stuff that happens, and it's all beautiful. There's nothing bad when the ball just moves freely and the open man gets the shot. The guy will take a wide open shot and miss it, and guys are running down saying, good shot. The coaches are on the sideline saying, hey, good shot. And so there's a feel about that. When a guy takes a brutal shot with 1 second on the shot clock after he dribbled it 37 times and makes it, it's hard to cheer for that as a coach. You're like, you might call a timeout and go, we're not living on that. They are taking better shots. And to me, this league comes down to really very simple, basic things. Can you keep the ball in front of you, which is hard to do? And can you generate good, solid, high percentage shots for each other?
You don't like the 37 dribble play?
No, I do
not really.
But Luka did a nice job with that.
Yes, he did.
We drew that up, though.
I think he said it was 74 dribbles.
On 78, he tapped
78 dribbles,
exactly,
that's right.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns just finished a 6-game homestand at 3-3, and they've been a nice story here early in the season, but a heavy home schedule here so far. 7 of their next 10 are on the road. What are we going to find out about this team?
We're going to find out if this team is real. They've been a terrific offensive team, a much improved defensive team. Mm-hmm. Ricky Rubio has been great for them. Aaron Baines, another former Celtic, has been fantastic, making almost 50% of his threes. And, of course, Devin Booker, 50, 90. It's going to be interesting if this Suns team can take it on the road and continue the play that we've seen so far.
Their effort will allow them to win a lot of games. They're playing much harder under Monty Williams. And give him Monty a ton of credit. Look at Baines is not shooting 50% from the three-point line for the rest of the year. I got news for your numbers guy. And that 50-50 stuff, that's going to go out the window too. He is not shooting 50% from the three-point line.
He has to this point, and
who's
going to stop him?
What? Who's going to stop him? The law of averages is going to stop him because people don't shoot that. That'd be like saying, no, the law of averages is
He
not
is one of the best shooters we have seen.
It doesn't matter. He's going to shoot 45%
I have to go with Kevin on this. At some point, it's going to come back down.
Of course it does.
We said the same stuff when Russell Westbrook could not average a triple-double. No one could do it. He did it for 3 consecutive years. Someone is going to shoot 50% from three.
Someone, but it's probably not Aaron Baines.
No, but maybe Devin Booker. We're talking about Devin Booker, right? Or are we talking about Aaron Baines?
Both of them. They're not shooting 50%.
Well, I agree.
Would you like to make a bet on this?
I'm going to say neither will.
Not
Yes.
Aaron Baines. I will bet on Booker.
I will bet.
Oh,
on,
shooting 50% for a year.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Any
it ain't
year.
happening.
I'd like to get
any
in,
year.
Any
I don't
year.
care.
I'd like to
Doesn't
get in
matter.
on that
Yes.
with Kevin.
Yes.
Against both. Because Aaron Baines, he's Aaron Baines, and not that he's not a good shooter, but
Right.
he's a center, and he's probably not going to shoot 50% from three-point range. And Booker, because people are going to be guarding him out there.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
a lot of those shots are tough just by necessity. Now, I will say this. I think he's getting better shots this year than he was last year when
I
he
do
was
too.
kind of the show in Phoenix.
There's no doubt. Now, let's be very clear. Aaron Baines is not going to shoot 50%.
Okay, I thought you were
We
arguing that
agree.
Aaron Baines was going to.
We agree. Devin Booker, on the other hand, just an elite level shooter.
Well, you're a prisoner of the moment. He is not going to shoot
I am
50%.
not.
I'll tell you right now. You've just bought into it, man. The Kool-Aid. Can we get more Kool-Aid here? Holy smokes.
We'll talk to
He is-
catering.
Yeah, he is not going to shoot. It just, look, the averages come down. Everybody, I've said this a million different times, you take a look at some guy's best shooting 10-game stretch of his career. You look at numbers that will astound you.
For sure.
Those are just average players. Booker was a very, very good player. Is having a phenomenal 14, 15 game thing. That is not going to last. I promise you. So,
And by the
we'll
way,
quit
Devin
arguing
Booker
about this.
is an
but,
elite shooter, obviously, and a three-point champion at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
He's never shot 40% for a season from three-point range.
Oh, are we talking 40% or 50? I thought we were saying 40.
Yeah, well, okay, here we go. Now it's 30. All right, Matt, wait, you know what? We got an analytics guy, and Matt just shot him down with analytics.
He was 2 of 4 tonight, so he's right there.
Okay, that ain't happening.
Right there from
All right.
three-point
But
range.
they are going to play hard, and that will translate to wins for Phoenix if they just continue to play.
This team is much improved. One of the great stories to this point in the year for sure.
Baines, by the way, 1 of 5 tonight from three-point range.
Yeah, it's called the averages. Yeah, that's
This is going to be fun to follow.
They're still doing this, and they've tailed off a little bit, but they're still doing this without DeAndre Ayton, who obviously is a major piece of the puzzle moving forward.
Well, that's really interesting because this team is going to change the way they play dramatically when they get DeAndre Ayton back. And it's going to be – now, there's still plenty of time here. They're, 14 games into a 25-game suspension or so. But it'll be interesting to see how they work Ayton back in.
Right, I agree.
All right, let's get you back to Utah. Timberwolves have pulled away since we left. It was a tie game when we left. It's now an 11-point Minnesota lead with 1:45 to go. Once again, Craig Bolerjack, and definitely not Matt Harpring.
No.
But Thurl Bailey on the call.
This would be a good win for Minnesota.
But Jazz still have enough time.
Minnesota won the first quarter. The Jazz won quarters 2 and 3, and the difference, Minnesota has dominated here in the fourth, 29-16. Off the glass, and the bucket falls. Martin has hurt the Jazz, T.
Yes, he has.
In this fourth quarter. Conley inside, races, scores it. Mike with 14, a chance for a three-point play. 1:30 left. Crowd beginning to stroll out of Vivint Smart Home Arena.
Well, we've seen the Jazz in some close ones, and you can't ever call the game until you know it's out of reach, and it's not out of reach yet. Minute and 30 seconds, you can do a lot in a minute and 30 seconds. But a lot of that has to be on the defensive end.
Josh Okogie will check in for Grant.
So Kogi will come back in. Mike can cut this game to single digits. Nope, that was the second, so it's a 10-point game. 107-97.
Again, I must stop here. And Minnesota's going to let that shot clock tick down as low as they can.
Right now it's at 9. Teague races in, flies it to the corner. Jazz crowd the paint, and a foul. It's on Gobert.
Jazz foul, Moody, picking up number 4. We have a technical foul charge in addition to Rudy.
I heard the whistle, T.
Yeah, it was Rudy. He was not very satisfied with that call. Got teed up.
Teague takes a tee, and that one's out.
Right here, he's with Okogie. Yeah, I don't know about that one, though, Bowler.
I think Rudy would agree.
Yeah, Kogi was going to fade back anyway because, it's Rudy Gobert. I don't think Rudy helped him on that fade at all.
And that disagreement cost a technical foul, but no harm off the miss by Teague. And there's a free throw miss, so 2 straight misses. That one by Okogie. Still a 10-point game with 1:10 left.
Guys can get a couple of threes here to help their cause.
Got to hurry. Donovan slides inside. That one's not going to fall. Big rebound, Rudy. Take it up. And one. Gobert stayed with it.
You'll take 3 any way you can get it, Bowler.
Great point. You don't have to hit it from behind the arc, right?
That's
Go
right.
inside. The
Right
bucket
here.
and the foul.
Jazz not giving up. Rudy right here doing a nice job of keeping it high.
Well, you're seeing why he's ranked number 3 in the league in rebounding. 13.6 tonight. He's got 13 in this one. .101 to play. Short and a loose ball foul.
Looks like Joe Ingles at the line.
So Towns with his 5th, and Thurl, the clock didn't start, of course, so you're back at the line with still 101 to play. And Joe
That hurts.
This is the first one. That would have cut it to 8. Utah from the line, by the way, 76%, 19 of 25. Next one's up and is in. Joe's first point here in the second half.
Yeah, putting the full court pressure right now. And Minnesota trying to make them cough it up.
Stay tuned for Jazz Game Night, the post-game report presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping injured people in Utah for over 30 years. 50 seconds to play. Rudy shuts it down. Got to get a turnover. Towns hurries a shot. Hit the side of the backboard. Donovan races the other way. Through traffic. Running downhill. Spins out of trouble. Left hand. Rudy will follow and throw down 2. And it's a 6-point game with just under 34 seconds left. They're going to backcourt pressure. Conley went for the steal. Boyan went for it as well and whistled for the foul at midcourt.
Yeah, and you had to foul. It was a good attempt by Conley to try to get the turnover, but Jazz need to get that clock stopped.
Utah's won 4 of their last 5, but that last game was a 1-point loss at Memphis Friday night on a no call on Donovan. And tonight Minnesota's come in here, use the 3 ball and probably pace Big T to steal one on the road.
Yeah, and without Wiggins. You know,
Great point.
It's one of those games where you look on paper and you say, well, the Jazz should pull this out. They're playing well at home right now, but you get a team that's relying upon not just their star in Cat Towns, but other guys around them to step it up and make the game go at a pace that they want. And they've dictated it. Minnesota has for the most part in this game.
T makes 2, a 21-point night. Jazz did not shoot the ball well from the floor, 37%. And they trail 110-102.
All right, Minnesota Timberwolves have pulled away here in the fourth quarter, and they've got this thing in hand, 110-102. This is a Minnesota team, and I know it's a different Utah offense and it's a different Utah pace. But this is a team that gave up 137 to Washington on Friday night in a home loss, and then 125 to Houston Saturday night in a home loss.
Yeah, no, Minnesota, much better defensive performance. And on Utah's side, they got to get Mike Conley going.
Yeah.
You know, he just has not been shooting the ball as expected to this point. Huge transition for him, of course, in a new role, different style of play. he'll get it right, but that's going to be really important for this Utah team.
You would think. And do we underestimate how hard that is? Because everybody, I know personally, when I first heard even reports that they were looking at Conley to Utah, a lot of us said, yes, that makes sense. Do that. That makes perfect sense. And yet, here we are, 13, 14 games into the season, and he hasn't been quite right there yet.
I'm shocked because Conley's got a very high basketball IQ, knows how to play, understands spacing, has always been able to drive and find people. He's really uncomfortable right now, and I can't understand why, because it's not like Utah's got a really complex system. I mean, they have a fairly basic, simple system, and he just is in a funk right now. It's only been 13, 14 games, but he's really good. When he starts playing well, they could be a problem because he can break down defenses and do so many positive things, as you see Utah trying like crazy to get a three-pointer, put a little pressure, low game pressure on Minnesota.
Good D against
That's pretty
Boyan.
good D again.
Yeah.
This Minnesota team is another great story.
Yeah.
You know, a team that we did not expect to be at, this point in the standings this early in the year. We thought there'd be some growth, but Karl Anthony Towns having a great run. And
Wiggins
has been unreal.
Yeah. Will he shoot 50% from the 3-2, Wiggins?
He will not.
Okay, that's good to hear.
But Devin Booker, I believe, will.
Yeah, don't sound on that.
Going back to that.
No, I'm sorry I mentioned it.
Wiggins, by the way, if you're just with us, did not play tonight, missing his third straight game tonight because of illness. A couple of games due to personal reasons, and tonight because of illness. So, in that regard, it is a very good win for Minnesota, and a win after that. It was two really disappointing results on their home floor over the weekend, and when they could really use.
Yeah, no, get Wiggins back. Continue to make three-point shots, because we were talking about it, I think, a little bit earlier. This is a team that takes a lot of threes, but they haven't been making them as consistently as you would hope. And then defensively, they've had a couple really rough outings.
I was just going to say, defensively is where this team has really got to make a big improvement. They just got to, again, it's hard to defend this league, the rules and everything as is, but you've just got to make more better individual effort for keeping your man in front of you and not giving in to all the switching and everything. But Ryan Saunders has done a nice job, and I'm happy for him. Good kid.
25th in the league in points allowed so far, Minnesota. But in terms of rating, they're 16th offensively and defensively.
Yeah, no, this team is much improved. They're better. You mentioned Ryan, great guy. I think that's part of what's going on here is this team is playing with confidence. Ryan has given this team confidence. They clearly know what they're trying to do, and they believe that they can do it, and Ryan is helping them believe.
Plus, they train in the Bahamas. They keep going back to that. This was a big thing over the summer.
They trained in the Bahamas.
They got together and trained.
Would my golf game improve if I trained in the Bahamas?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna
if you
try
went with
that.
the whole Timberwolves team, maybe it would.
Okay, I'll try that. Well, who knows? I think one thing that's happened is this really become Karl Anthony Towns' team. I think they had Jimmy Butler, then was Wiggins going to be the 1 and 1A and stuff, and a lot of stuff. And all of a sudden, I think right now it's just, this is my team. And I think Karl enjoys having that. And I think everybody in a team plays better. There has to be a structure on a team. It has to be a pecking order. You got to have 1, 2, 3, 4. And when your pecking order is all screwed up, your team is all screwed up.
Right.
And I just think they're starting to get that pecking order, and people are falling in line. It's just much easier to play.
How do you think that played out? Because you can hear it in Karl's voice when he does interviews, the way he speaks, when he talks about leadership, about the tone they tried to set over the summer. He wants to be the leader of this team.
It starts with you wanting to be the leader, and then it starts with you understanding. But here's the thing. It can't be forced. You kind of got to be able to go in there and just be who you are. And hopefully that has leadership qualities to it. Because if you're fake about everything, they see right through that. So hopefully, I don't know him very well, but I think that if he comes in and just speaks his heart and is able to reach people, and they will rally around him. Teams that do really well rally around their top players. Everybody gets it. The 7th and 8th man wants to play for him, wants to play harder. They inspire everybody just to be better. And that's what he's got to do, and that's what all good teams do. Their top leaders lead them.
Teammates also have to see him doing it on the floor, right?
Yes, agreed.
And Karl Anthony Towns, no one has ever doubted his offensive package. It's really been about can he and will he consistently defend?
Yeah.
And we've seen a much better effort. And you mentioned Wiggins. He has not been with the team the last couple of games, but he is on just maybe
He's been great.
Yeah, maybe the best tear of his career to this point. And if he continues the play that we saw before his absence, I mean, he looks like he could be an all-star in the Western Conference.
He could be the most improved player.
He
could be on that list. I mean, it's unusual for a guy who's got a max contract this deep into his career, but he's made that kind of a leap this season.
The question is consistency.
Right, and
Will
can he keep it up?
That's
I mean,
right.
Those votes are cast in April, not November.
Yeah, no question. And you know, for me, when I watch him, you know, Wiggins has got to come out and just compete hard every single night. You know, let the chips fall where they may, but come out with an unbelievable energy level every single night, because that's what the great players do. They bring energy. You don't play great every night in this league. I got news for you. Even the great players have some stinkers, but you've got to play hard all the time. And I saw Wiggins throughout his career have periods where he just didn't play hard enough for me, where I just didn't think that his effort level was there.
Yeah.
And that's the effort level that you need to be at if you want to be a playoff team. And if you want to win playoff series and eventually a championship, you got to have a high energy level and a high effort level every single night.
Well, it's not just you. I mean, that's been the knock on him since he got to the league, that he doesn't always seem engaged and it doesn't always seem like he's playing hard enough.
I was at a preseason game earlier this year, and a bunch of us went out after the game, probably 10 NBA guys. And the topic of conversation turned to, is the contract an asset or a liability? John Wall, Kevin Love,
Liability.
and Andrew
Asset.
Wiggins.
Oh, you have multiple players. And
Multiple
Wiggins
players.
Came up, yeah.
Andrew Wiggins came up, and only two people in the group. I was one other will remain nameless. I thought Wiggins' contract would be an asset.
Yeah.
The rest of the group thought he was a liability. At this point, league-wide, there's no question
flipped.
that is flipped based upon his play.
They should name that guy, by the way. I mean, it must be really difficult to go.
You know,
around the world without a name.
did you also spout about the 50% three-point shooters? Because what you're starting to say, I'm doubting a lot of stuff, okay? Just with that crazy. And then playing behind the guy. You missed that. I don't know if I can get into that, Matt. Earlier, he's telling me the way to play James Harden is play behind him, like Utah did.
It's been done.
And
It's been done.
No, that wasn't.
does not work, okay? That does not work.
That was Quinn Snyder and Mike Budenholzer.
I don't care. That
Pretty good
does not
coaches.
work. I'm
I've
not
seen
doing
it.
that.
I mean, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying it's been done.
Oh, gosh.
Not the
okay.
craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yes, it is. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
How else do you guard him?
Stay in front of him.
You can't. That's the problem.
Yes, you can.
Then he steps
but
back
getting
and
back to
shoots a
getting back to the liability, it's going to take a lot of people in this league, as if you're a GM, a lot more than 13 or 14 games with Wiggins.
Sure.
They're going to have to see this for a long time.
For sure.
But you're talking. There's a lot of contracts in our league right now are way more liabilities than they are. But like you said, Kevin Love. I think Kevin Love is going to go on to a championship caliber team. Some team later on will say, if they put him on the market, will say, boy, we need a stretch four that can rebound and pass the ball and stuff like that. So those guys end up becoming assets for you, because you can collect draft choices and whatnot. But
No doubt. It's just a fascinating conversation when you just throw out a contract and you just kind of get basically a straw poll of a group of highly respected NBA folks, and just to see where it goes. And it's interesting to see, and you're right, but the way Wiggins has played, no question, he is turning a lot of people in his favor. He just has to do it for a longer stretch.
well, he turned 2 out of 10. That's 20%. That's not a lot.
There was 8
2 out of 10 then.
Oh, okay.
So you may have flipped it by now.
Maybe 3.
You've got to reconvene and
I would
do
think
the
we should
poll again.
reconvene.
All
do
right.
the poll.
I tell you what, call him up at the next time out and find out where it's at right now.
I want names, by the way.
Yeah, name
I
names.
want names.
Name names.
I need some names.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a break. Coming back with all the highlights from the night. One game still in progress. Paul George seeing some of his old teammates. It's a very different looking OKC team, and it's a 1-point game as they head toward the half at Staples Center. On center court, we expect to see Carmelo Anthony in a Portland Trail Blazers uniform and set to make his debut in New Orleans against the Pelicans at 8 Eastern time. Then it's the Thunder and Lakers from Staples Center. The night begins at 6 Eastern time with the warm-up. Blazers could have used Melo or somebody. Bill Walton. Rockets ready for launch. Right, a 7-game win streak.
That guy's committed.
He's completely committed.
No question.
To the role. There's got to be a larger story there.
You hope.
James Harden is committed.
3-pointer plus
Rockets
1.
are committed to him.
4. Yes. This is where he's really unguardable. When he's putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the hoop, it's just amazing. I think he gets another 3 here. Let's see. You should guard him. He's leading the league in scoring it.
Generally a good idea.
Yeah.
The Blazers did not on that play, and Harden made him pay. And then more Harden, step back, and what's the Cardinal rule?
Do not foul the jump shooter.
Yeah.
especially a three-pointer when he makes it. That's 4 points.
It did that too. Although, you know, Harden only took 10 free throws on the night and only made 9. So that's progress if you're a defense. Second half, triple-double watch. Harden with the steal. Russell Westbrook to Clint Capella back in the lineup. Good to see him back.
And this is the pace that we talk about with Houston this year. Much better. Bottom of the league last year, top of the league this year.
And you see when Russell gets it, everybody runs with him because he's going after it. And he's always been able to sneak in there an offensive rebound. He's been such a tricky offensive rebounder. And again, push it up.
3 of his 13 rebounds were of the offensive variety, and then there's just no stopping him there. And that's the element you were talking about that the Rockets just haven't had the last few years.
One of the best one-man breaks in the league, without question.
Westbrook eventually to Harden. It touched about 3 other Blazers before it got to him. 141st triple-double for Westbrook. Harden with a relatively quiet 36-point night. Celtics 10-game win streak ended in Sacramento Sunday. They were in Phoenix on Monday. Jason Tatum steals it, throws it down.
Long jumps in that passing lane. I like that. Turn your defense into offense, young man.
Dario Saric to Aaron Baines for the dunk. Phoenix up by 2. End of a 6-game homestand for the Suns here. Marcus Smart always making an impact.
I mean, he is the heart and soul of this team, especially on the defensive end. But he's making threes this year.
Finds Kemba Walker there. Kemba had 19 on the night.
I was a willing passer, too. And there you go, Kemba again. He was attacking.
Boston had a 15-point lead at the half. Tatum taking things over here in the third.
Nice little pass there from Smart.
I think Jason Tatum has a chance, if he continues to improve, in time to be an MVP candidate. This kid's that good.
8 of 16, 26 points in this game. That's big talk from Wes Wilcox. Smart goes down, so the win comes at a price as he turns that right ankle right there. He was done for the night.
He'll spit on it and be fine.
Don't understand the spit thing, but people have been saying that forever. Spit on your injury and somehow it improves. Hornets coming on 3 straight dramatic finishes. They were in Toronto and things were far less dramatic. Raptors back from their 5-game road trip and ready to kind of put away the Hornets early on here. Fred VanVleet to Pascal Siakam. Raptors were 20 of 43 from three-point range.
He didn't call glass on that one, but if you look at the Raptors, every basket assisted on, they moved the ball so well as a group.
And
Norman Powell to Rondé Hollis-Jefferson down low.
And they attack, they defend, they get out and run, and it's great to see OG have the night he did.
Career night for OG. Speaking of Anunoby, of course. Not that there's another OG in the league.
I think OG is good enough.
Knocks down the 3. And then corner 3. He was 4 of 7 from the great beyond. Toronto leading it by a baker's dozen.
Look at that. Their defense. Everybody scrambled to the ball. 3 guys trying to get the ball, get out, another assist. And Nick Nurse has got to be at early stages coach of the year. Just doing a great job.
No doubt. And this team is first in the NBA in fast break points by a considerable margin. We're seeing it here again tonight. It comes off their defense.
Yep. Marc Gasol to Anunoby at a career-high 24. Raptors recorded a franchise record 40 assists in the win. Bucks and the Bulls, that means heavy doses of that guy Giannis Antetokounmpo after the short trip to Chicago. Steps in for the steal. 2 steps later, he's at the rim.
Yeah, but you can't just throw it to him. You should throw it to your teammate. Just do it right there.
This is why we have a coach on the set.
Yeah. Throw it to your teammate, please. When he's running, I tell you what, everybody just get out of the way. He finishes so hard at the rim.
Second quarter, Chris Dunn to Zach LaVine. Knocks down the 3, and then it's Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, nice play.
Daniel Gafford with a nice night tonight.
How about Giannis?
If he does this consistently,
it's over. I mean, if he can make the 3 all the time, he's impossible to guard as it is.
He had 2 of 6 in this game. That's good enough. Kobe White heats up from the 3-point line in the 4th. Finished with 13. That one gave them the lead at 99-98. We got ourselves a ball game in the Windy City.
And Roy Williams should have came to see Kobe White earlier.
Right.
Because since then,
he's been unstoppable. Giannis and
that's unstoppable. Put him in the post. You saw him go left, go right, both blocks. You cannot guard him down there.
33 and 10, 30 or more in 7 of their last 8 games. To Andrew Wiggins for the 3rd straight game as the Wolves landed in Salt Lake on Monday. Karl Anthony Towns, that's a casual 3.
And this is one of the rare tough matchups for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Dante Exum, interception and the throwdown. That was his only bucket of the night.
And if
Jeff
you watch,
Teague, no.
nice follow by Cat. But if you watch against Rudy Gobert, Towns stays on the perimeter, opens up the paint, and nice move over. I tell you what, hard move there, but Rudy Gobert said no.
No, not going to happen. And they get the bucket on the other end with Bojan Bogdanovic's fifth three-pointer of the game. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Give him the old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jarrett Culver there. The rookie.
Didn't see that in the Big 12. Nope.
And Texas Tech, they don't have that.
Towns goes to work late.
Man,
That's a tough shot.
Karl Anthony Towns, 7 of 15 from three-point range, 29, 13, and 5. Utah shot under 37%. Kyrie Irving still sidelined by his right shoulder as the Pacers took to the herringbone in Brooklyn with the Pacers in town. Spencer Dinwiddie starting and scoring. He had 28.
Unfortunately, no one else did much for Brooklyn. They struggled after Dinwiddie. No one
Well, that
else
was the
got it
second
going.
part of the story, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Pacers. Domantas Sabonis, know your holidays. Aaron to Justin for 3. And then Aaron to TJ Warren. I don't know if you know this, but the Pacers lead the league in TJs.
Okay.
They got all 3 of them. Corner 3 there. Sabonis goes for 16 and a career high, 18 boards. Third quarter, it's the holidays.
this is the younger brother.
Aaron. And this is Justin.
The oldest of the 3.
And presumably Drew was at home somewhere or
Watching?
on the road watching. Yeah.
Maybe Drew was at the game watching.
Maybe he was. Justin had 20. TJ Warren cutting, and then Aaron Holiday. Aaron had 24. Justin had 20 on the night, and the Pacers get the win. 8 days after the Cavs' rout of the Knicks that led to the infamous post-game press conference, a chance for revenge for the New York Knicks.
And no Kevin Love tonight, so it makes it a little bit easier for the Knicks. But this was a good game for this team.
Julius Randle had the feeling.
Ooh, shooting threes, driving. Left-handed, people. I don't know if you know that. He is left-handed.
Putting it on the deck, knocking it down from 3. He's doing it all. 3 of 5 from out there. He had 23 in the first half. Double-digit lead for the Knicks at the break. Had the crowd on their side. People are happy.
This Knicks team, they needed this. This is now 2 wins out of their last 3. And a really tough loss a couple nights ago to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Last second.
And I think just playing harder and competing, getting after it, that's what the New York Knicks fans want. And I think that's what they were saying. We need more of that, and Fizdale's got them playing better.
Put up a season-high 123 in a win. We'll revisit a couple of the top performances of the night when we come back. James Harden was relatively quiet, but still deadly against the Blazers, while Luka Doncic let it rip in Big D against the Spurs with a Mavericks first. Dallas beat the San Antonio Spurs 117-110. 6th straight loss for the Spurs, despite DeMar DeRozan's season-high 36 points. He also had 8 boards and 4 assists. Luka Doncic becomes the first Maverick ever to record a triple-double with at least 40 points. He goes for a career-high 42 to go with the 11 and 12 in the win. Here was the hero afterward.
We have a career-high 42, triple-double. This is your career high tonight, Luka. Did this game feel different for you than some of the others?
I mean, it's always special, you know, it's a rivalry. You know, we always want to win every game, but I would say one word, Dorian Finney-Smith, that's it.
Yeah, Dorian had an incredible game as well. That ridiculous shot at the end. In the first quarter, you had a career high for a quarter with 17. What was going on in your mind as all those shots were dropping for you?
Today when I slapped the net, I dreamed like I was going to score 16 in the first quarter, so then I scored 17. So I was like, dreams don't come true. But no, I mean, amazing win, great effort, great defense, and just amazing.
Kevin, Luka Doncic is making a lot of dreams come true. He's the second youngest player in NBA history with a 40-point triple-double behind only LeBron James. And look at the names on the list. Again, LeBron, Magic, Zeke, the Big O.
Some of the best players who ever played the game. and his name's up there right now. That's pretty amazing for that young man.
It is amazing. And doesn't he have the most triple doubles of anybody before the age of 20?
Yes,
he does.
Which that's a different list.
That's a different list. He's on a number of lists. We can only show you one at a time, Wes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Our technical capabilities are only, so great. Plus, if we showed you all the graphics at the same time, it would just be confusing. We try to focus on one item at a time, if we can. Let's focus on Doncic's scoring.
Yes.
Because so often we think of him as a playmaker primarily, and yet of his 6 triple-doubles, 4 of them have been 30-point triple-doubles.
No, he can score the ball. I mean, the first thing he does is that he puts some pressure on you offensively. He makes a few shots, then all of a sudden you're playing up on him. He goes by you. But, in a break situation, there was a break that we had a little highlight. We were looking at it. You just knew someone was going to get a shot. He draws 2 or 3 people to him all the time, and he finds people when you're looking at this shot, coming in, and finding out that shooter. That's a tough pass. That's a throwback pass. Not a lot of people see it. This is what I was talking about. Actually, as a defender, you say, hello, Luka. There's not much you can do on that. But I like this backdoor cut. He just has an understanding of the floor and openings and where to cut. And right now, and this is what I was talking about, someone's going to get an open shot right now. Look at all the ball. Look at all the people around him. And he just finds the right guy. You can't throw 3 people at the ball. He just finds everybody. And again, we talked about it. He's getting stronger in his ability to get in there and finish amongst the paint. And we talked about earlier, that step back is murder, man. He makes that, and it is hard to guard. So he starts off the game scoring and attacking, but every time he draws 2 or 3 and draws a crowd, he gets rid of it, and he gets rid of it on time, and he gets rid of it on target. He reminds me a lot of LeBron James. When LeBron first came in the league, he made all the right plays to his teammates, and you were like, wow, that guy sees the floor extremely well, and that's the same thing with Luka.
Yep, no doubt. It takes a great deal of skill and intelligence to play slow. And Luka can play slow as anybody and be incredibly effective. And he does it on both ends now. He's really improved defensively. He's trying on that end of the floor. That's still not Dallas' strength. They're a great offensive team, but they're getting better there as well.
You talk about playing slow. All you got to do in basketball is be quick in a 5-6 foot area, because you beat the guy, then you just body ride him. So, quickness is so much different than speed.
Yep.
He's got Larry Bird was the same thing. Larry would pump fake, and from here to the floor was phenomenally fast. So he'd get you on your toes, and he just would get an edge on you. He was strong enough to ride you. Chris Mullin, there's a million different guys that have played slow, but Luka's quick in his little areas, and that's all you need is just get that guy off you. It's not how fast you are, really. It's just kind of how quick you are, how clever. Magic Johnson was the same way.
James Harden doesn't play fast at all.
Yeah. No, exactly. James is another classic. They just get that little edge on you, then just body ride you. You never catch up. So I always tell people that, this is not a 100-yard sprint. This is not a 40-yard sprint. This is a game of small area quickness, and if you have it, you can be really effective. Luka's got small area quickness. He just doesn't look all that athletic.
I'm curious for both of your perspectives on this, from an organizational point of view, from a coaching staff's point of view. What does his ability to control what happens on the floor the way he does at this age, knowing that, if he's healthy, you've got him for years and years to come. What does this do for you as an organization? What kind of a luxury is it?
Oh, it's the best, because now you're scouting. Everything you do, your team building is built around what fits around that focal point. And you're going to need shooting, you're going to need defense, and you really don't need a high-level playmaking point guard because he is so great in that space. It really makes everything in terms of team building and scouting easier when you have a player like this.
It was a lot like when you looked at Chicago and they had Scottie and Michael. Your point guards need to be shooters. It was Paxson, it was Kerr, it was
B.J. Armstrong.
There's all those guys.
Craig Hodges.
Yes, Craig, because what you do is you take just a huge amount of responsibility off of whoever the other players are, and you throw it on his shoulder. He's already proven he can handle a ton of responsibility. So now you're looking at guys that can defend, make the three, and have some ball skills. But most point guards have some ball skills.
Sure.
But you don't need a lot. And so you just become different in what you need as far as filling out your team. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think when Porzingis starts hitting his stride, this team's got another level to it without any additions or anything else. Just Porzingis is next. He's not there yet. I watch him and I just think he's not totally comfortable yet. But boy, when he gets comfortable, he and Luka Doncic are going to be an interesting dynamic, and they can take this team. They're in a lot of trouble. You wouldn't want to play this team in the playoffs. I know that if they both start hitting on all cylinders.
When you're evaluating, if you can evaluate to your organization and their core values, a star player, and then a coach, it makes it much easier when you're trying to filter the scouting process.
On the other side of the ledger, by the way, the Spurs have lost 6 in a row. That's their longest losing streak since spring of 2011. Not a great start in San Antonio. Paul George facing his old club, the Oklahoma City Thunder, tonight. Some familiar faces, some faces who weren't there when he was there. He's knocking down the 3 there, and OKC leads at 56-54, plenty of time in LA. When Shaq was in the NBA, he was known by many names. Diesel, the Big Aristotle, Superman. But nowadays, he's just as well known as DJ Diesel. In this season's first episode of Storytime with Shaq, Ro Parrish chats with the big fella about his DJ career and the music festivals where he performed this past summer.
You have a house?
Yes.
So you understand land and acreage, right?
Absolutely.
You all in my acres, brother. See this mark right here? Don't cross this mark.
I won't cross that line. I don't want to be in violation. I won't cross the line.
In the words of Stanley and Friday, please stay out my freaking grass. all this is my house, okay? This is the house. All this is the acres.
All right, shouts out to Miss Parker, too, by the way.
Miss Parker.
Oh, yeah, Ro Parrish on the set, running point. This is my joint. I'm posted up with Big, about to tell you what it is. Before we get started, I like to shine with my rhymes, but his name is Shaq, and it's story time.
That's pretty good.
You like that? 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 You like that?
That was pretty good.
Man, you've been having a great summer all over social media, touring, festivals, concerts, clubs. How did that all get started, man? Because the people don't know. You got to let them know.
Yo, I was on tour, the DJ Diesel World Tour. You know, for me, it's like my game 7. To see all the kids up there jumping up and down and having a good time. I have to thank you because you taught me a lot about DJing.
Appreciate you.
Been DJing since '88. Being that I got good DJ friends like you and Cat Daddy and Smash Cash, all those guys that give me the great music. Being in the music business, I know how to put stuff together just to make the kids jump up and down.
For the people that didn't see the tour, didn't see the post, describe what your DJ style is and what you bring that's different from everybody else.
I bring honor to the dollar. What I mean by that is, if you're going to pay $50 to see me perform, I got to get your money's worth. Just like in the NBA, I always used to look in the crowd, just see a dad and a son, or a dad and his daughter, or a whole family. I'm like, those people paid a lot of money to come watch me play. And I actually learned that from my father. We went to a San Antonio Spurs game one time, and we were sitting up in the nosebleed. It was a terrible game. And he said, man, if you ever make it to this league, all these people pay hard-earned money, make sure you give them a good show. So mine is hip-hop, dubstep, trap, white boy classics. I'm also a student of this, so I've seen all the top guys, and I see what they do. And I just shacking up what they do a little bit.
A lot of things have changed. You talked about you've been DJing for 20 years. What's the biggest difference from back then to now?
There's a lot of new technology that makes it easier. So while I'm on the plane, I can take sets and put them together, put them on the thumb drive, and be ready to go. Remember that one show we did? They told us we can play anything, and I had to ask to borrow your computer?
Yeah.
So a lot of times DJs have to be flexible, just like in a game. You can come in the game and say, I'm going to go with the power game. But if the refs ain't calling the game that way, you got to switch it up to finesse.
Now, in the past, story times with Shaq, in fact, pull up this clip right now when you go, go in and put in the code to unleash a certain Shaq that comes out. So the preparation, is there a difference prepping for an NBA game as opposed to prepping for a DJ set?
If you practice perfect,
we talking about practice.
The situation comes out perfect. You got to put sets together. You got to have your cues at the right point. You got to make sure the BPMs are right. So I always practice and prepare. And being there with other DJs is like being at an all-star game. I had a show one time with Aoki, Diplo, Tiesto, some of the great DJs. And I know all of them were looking at me like, okay, this guy thinks he's a DJ. So it's just like when you first come to the league, and in my first all-star game, when I beat out Patrick Ewing, I'm in the locker room, but I could see Mike and Scotty and them guys looking at me like, so, at some point, you always got to, prove yourself. And I don't mind, stepping up to the challenge. We had to start from the bottom. Remember the show we did in San Antonio?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a clip of me and Ro in San Antonio.
So, you know, they started from the bottom because I was automatically thrusted into the celebrity DJ category, which is fine. And I just had to work my way up. So now I'm banging them out pretty hard.
Out of all the shows you've done so far going under DJ Diesel, what's the most unique situation? What's the best story?
My new thing is to just, after the show, jumping in the crowd with the kids. And I have a song called Hack and Shack in the Mosh Pit. I'm giving kids the permission to try to knock me out. So it's me versus 1,000 kids. I haven't failed yet. I like festivals more than clubs. Because the festivals, the kids come to do one thing. I did a festival here in Atlanta at the Motor Speedway for Diplo. Diplo couldn't show up. And the crazy thing is Diplo canceled, and the promoters asked all the kids, well, who do you want to see? And I was unanimous. So I was at the house, and they called me and said, man, we need you going at 12. I said, cool. And I ripped that mother down. You don't have to beep it out. You can just put, you can just put the little emojis right there. I ripped that thing all the way down.
Well, number one, I got to give you props. Very proud of you as an instructor, in a sense, seeing the students succeed. So we're going to do this thing called Let's Play a Game. It's going to be called Name That DJ. I got a number of NBA players, and I know you're the master of giving nicknames out. So I'm going to name these players, and I want you to give me their DJ nickname.
Okay.
Joel Embiid.
DJ Afrobeat.
James Harden.
DJ FTB.
FTB means?
Fear the Beard.
Hey. LeBron.
DJ Your Highness.
Kawhi.
DJ Silence. You don't say nothing on the mic.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Greek Freak.
It's already said.
Yeah, he just got to play 2 Live Crew music. Yeah, that was. You got to play freak music all the time.
Got into a little something this summer.
Actually, I didn't get into anything. It's all about competition.
Right.
So if somebody is offered another show and they say they're better than you got to step your game up.
Rough shot over the Blazers with a 132-108 win. James Harden had a ho-hum 36, slightly below his season average. While Russell Westbrook went for 18, 13, and 10, his 141st career triple-double. He spoke with Kaylee Griffin.
What did you see from the Blazers defense tonight that allowed you to find those lanes and attack so fluidly?
One-on-one, man. It's hard to stop us one-on-one. And when we attack the basket, I get whatever I want. It's up to me to making the right plays.
We saw you push the ball coast to coast for a layup in 4 seconds. Your speed has changed the entire dynamic of this Rockets offense. How comfortable do you feel this team is adjusting to your speed?
Trying to get there. My job is to keep challenging our guys to better run the floor, run with me, and my job is to push the pace and use my energy to better bring the team together.
This team has preached defense since game 1, and over the last 5 games, you've had the best defensive rating in the NBA. What changed?
Everyone taking pride in locking the defender up, one by one, man to man. We're locking guys up, and I think we're taking pride now. We got to continue to do that if we want to win the ring.
I don't want to say there's a correlation, but tonight is your first bobblehead night ever.
You know, it's my first bobblehead. I never had a bobblehead since I've been in the league, so
should we have more?
Sure, why not?
I feel like every human should get a bobblehead at some point, right?
I've had a bobblehead.
Of course you have. You're a Hall of Famer. Well, most of the rest of us don't get one.
I thought we should have a Matt Weiner bobblehead.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'm with you. Wow.
Also from Texas, Luka Doncic is trailing Russ by 127 career triple-doubles at the moment, but the 14th of his career made him the second youngest ever to put up a 40-point triple-double. Strictly speaking, as a scorer, what is Luka Doncic's potential, looking at him as a 20-year-old here?
Unlimited, just for the fact that he can shoot the ball. And the ability, he's gotten stronger, a little bit quicker, but he's just clever. He can get to the rack. I love the fact that he's scoring in the paint more, and he's more efficient when he gets in there. But all that put together, it's still his ability to make plays that excites me more than anything else. I've seen a million different scorers, but I tell you, his ability to make plays and make players better, he makes everybody in the team better. That's a gift to make everybody in our team better. Luka's got that.
It may be an unfair question because you get the whole package, but is he more valuable as a scorer or as a playmaker?
Oh, man, it's both, really. It's too hard to pick. He's second in the league in assists, and that playmaking, he's doing it down the stretch. He's got a clutch gene in him. This is a franchise player, a future MVP, certainly an MVP candidate right now. Just a great player for the Mavericks.
Also 6th in the league in scoring. I didn't know they'd isolated that scoring gene. They found that?
I think, well, he's got it.
Oh, he's got it. All right.
Learn something new every day.
Science, right?
Yeah, science.
Undefeated.
I got it.
More coming up here on the way with Melo set to make his Blazers debut Tuesday. We'll talk about the match and the next phase of Carmelo's career. The Thunder in town to take on the Clippers. JaMychal Green teed up for 3. He knocked it down. Neither team is led by more than 6, and it's a 2-point margin at the end of 3. Center where the OKC Thunder are in town against their old buddy Paul George, getting their first look at the Thunder as an opponent since he left via free agency. Brian Seaman and Chauncey Billups are on the call early in the fourth quarter in LA.
Whether it's trying to get to the free throw line, Brian, or just, 3-point shots, isolation plays, I look for Paul George to try to be aggressive to close this game out.
Took 5 shots in the first 6 minutes of the game. He only has 5 shots in the last 15 that he's played. Lobs it to Montrez. Flying around Staples Center like he's got a jetpack on.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. You got Chris Paul guarding Paul George right there. They're going to come and bring a little help over, which is what they did with Steven Adams. Nice find right there by Paul George.
4th assist for George. Paul inside, no. 2-handed rebound by JaMychal Green. Looking to break the tie. Magruder knifing his way to the rim. Good hustle by OKC. Shea. Blocked from behind by Montrez. Paul George on the prowl. A whistle and a foul that slows the break.
Nice offensive play right here in the isolation situation. Nice lob right there to Montrez from Paul George. But how about the defense? How about Montrez continuing to pursue in a tough matchup with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? I'm sure they'll be talking about that after the game.
Montrez greeted all his former teammates warmly. Down, Figueroa, and pumps it in with 2.
And we talked about somebody really needed to get going in one of these last couple quarters. Montrez has really turned it on both ends of the floor.
18 for Trez. Clippers by 2. Baisley spins his way to the rim, but underbarrels off the window. Magruder with time and space. Trez with a rebound to keep it alive. Wants to go ISO on Adams. Mishandles. Lou to George, gonna have to don a cape late in the clock. He's aware, contested 3. Montrez with his second.
Oh, that's got Crunch Time Live look written all over it.
Oh, it does.
70-68.
Is it the second quarter?
No, it is not.
That score feels like it's a second quarter score.
A lot of good defense.
Neither team is shooting better than 39%. Clippers are just under 39. OKC's at 35.5%, and the two teams combined are 12 of 51 from three-point range.
Wow.
More coming up here. More on Luka Doncic's historic night in Dallas as the Mavericks hand the Spurs their 6th straight loss. Run roughshod over the Blazers in a 132-108 win. James Harden had a ho-hum 36, slightly below his season average, while Russell Westbrook at 18, 13, and 10, his 141st career triple-double. He spoke with Kaylee Griffin.
What did you see from the Blazers defense tonight that allowed you to find those lanes and attack so fluidly?
One-on-one, man. It's hard to stop us one-on-one. And when we attack the basket, I get whatever I want. It's up to me to making the right plays.
We saw you push the ball coast to coast for a layup in 4 seconds. Your speed has changed the entire dynamic of this Rockets offense. How comfortable do you feel this team is adjusting to your speed?
Trying to get there. My job was to keep challenging our guys to better run the floor, run with me, and my job is to push the pace and use my energy to better bring the team together.
This team has preached defense since game one, and over the last 5 games, you've had the best defensive rating in the NBA. What changed?
Everyone's taking pride in locking the defender up, one by one, man to man. We're locking guys up, and I think we're taking pride now. We got to continue to do that if we want to win the ring.
I don't want to say there's a correlation, but tonight is your first bobblehead night ever.
You know, it's my first bobblehead. I never had a bobblehead since I've been in the league, so
should we have more?
Sure, why not?
Everyone should get a triple-double on their bobblehead night. Also, another Texas triple-double on Monday night, Luka Doncic, who trails Russ by 127 triple-doubles at the moment all time, but the 14th of his career made him the second youngest ever to put up a 40-point triple-double at the age of 20. Strictly as a scorer, what is his potential?
Unlimited, because he can make the jump shot. He's got that little step-back move. And he's now starting to score in the paint. He's much more effective at getting to the paint and finishing around the basket. But everything's set up with the fact that the guy can make a long jump shot. And he's got the runner. He's got the entire package. And now that he's stronger and finishing better at the paint, he's really almost unguardable. But again, I know you're talking strictly scoring. You got to throw in the passing. I just think his playmaking, he's got the unique ability to make everybody on his team better. Whether you're a big man, a little man, it doesn't matter what position you play with him, you're going to get open looks.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, second in the league in assists right now and fourth in free throw attempts. He gets the foul line, and he's got Dallas as the second best offense in the NBA. This is a young MVP candidate, leading this Dallas team, what looks like to be highly competitive in the Western Conference.
It's amazing. 6th in the league in scoring. And again, he's just 20 years of age.
It's incredible.
It's just not normal, right?
LeBron,
in NBA history, there just
Magic.
aren't many guys, and they're all guys on that list you saw earlier. Coming up with Melo set to make his Blazers debut Tuesday, we'll talk about the match and the next phase of Carmelo's career. See Carmelo Anthony in a Portland Trail Blazers uniform and set to make his debut in New Orleans against the Pelicans at 8 Eastern time. Then it's the Thunder and Lakers from Staples Center. The night begins at 6 Eastern time with the warm-up. Blazers could have used Melo or somebody. Bill Walton. Rockets ready for launch. Right, a 7-game win streak.
That guy's committed.
He's completely committed.
No question.
To the role. There's got to be a larger story there. James Harden is committed.
3-pointer plus
the Rockets
one,
are committed to
4. Yes. This is where he's really unguardable. When he's putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the hoop, it's just amazing. I think he gets another 3 here. Let's see. You should guard him. He's leading the league in scoring it.
Generally a good idea. Yeah. Blazers did not on that play, and Harden made him pay. And then more Harden, step back, and what's the Cardinal rule?
Do not foul the jump shooter.
Yeah.
Especially a 3-pointer when he makes it. That's 4 points.
They did that too. Although, Harden only took 10 free throws on the night and only made 9. So that's progress if you're a defense. Second half, triple-double watch. Harden with the steal. Russell Westbrook to Clint Capella back in the lineup. Good to see him back.
And this is the pace that we talk about with Houston this year. Much better. Bottom of the league last year, top of the league this year.
And you see when Russell gets it, everybody runs with him because he's going after it. And he's always been able to sneak in there an offensive rebound. He's been such a tricky offensive rebounder. And again, push it up.
3 of his 13 rebounds were of the offensive variety, and then there's just no stopping him there. And that's the element you were talking about that the Rockets just haven't had the last few years.
One of the best one-man breaks in the league, without question.
Westbrook eventually to Harden. It touched about 3 other Blazers before it got to him. 141st triple-double for Westbrook. Harden with a relatively quiet 36-point night. Celtics 10-game win streak ended in Sacramento Sunday. They were in Phoenix on Monday. Jason Tatum steals it, throws it down.
Long jumps in that passing lane. I like that. Turn your defense into offense, young man.
Dario Saric to Aaron Baines for the dunk. Phoenix up by 2. End of a 6-game homestand for the Suns here. Marcus Smart always making an impact.
I mean, he is the heart and soul of this team, especially on the defensive end. But he's making threes this year.
Finds Kemba Walker there. Kemba had 19 on the night.
I was a willing passer, too. And there you go, Kemba again. He was attacking.
Boston had a 15-point lead at the half. Tatum taking things over here in the third.
Nice little pass there from Smart.
I think Jason Tatum has a chance, if he continues to improve, in time to be an MVP candidate. This kid's that good.
8 of 16, 26 points in this game. That's big talk from Wes Wilcox. Smart goes down, so the win comes at a price as he turns that right ankle right there. He was done for the night.
He'll spit on it and be fine.
Don't understand the spit thing, but people have been saying that forever. Spit on your injury, and somehow it improves. Hornets coming off 3 straight dramatic finishes. They were in Toronto, and things were far less dramatic. Raptors back from their 5-game road trip and ready to kind of put away the Hornets early on here. Fred VanVleet to Pascal Siakam. Raptors were 20 of 43 from three-point range.
He didn't call glass on that one, but if you look at the Raptors, every basket assisted on, they moved the ball so well as a group.
And Norman Powell to Rondae Hollis-Jefferson down low.
And they attack, they defend, they get out and run, and it's great to see OG have the night he did.
Career night for OG. Speaking of Anunoby, of course. Not that there's another OG in the league.
I think OG is good enough.
Knocks down the 3. And then corner 3. He was 4 of 7 from the great beyond. Toronto leading it by a baker's dozen.
Look at that. Look at everybody scrambled to the ball. 3 guys trying to get the ball, get out, another assist. And Nick Nurse has got to be at early stages Coach of the Year. Just doing a great job.
No doubt. And this team is first in the NBA in fast break points by a considerable margin. We're seeing it here again tonight. It comes off their defense.
Yeah. Marc Gasol to Anunoby at a career-high 24. Raptors recorded a franchise record 40 assists in the win. Bucks and the Bulls, that means heavy doses of that guy Giannis Antetokounmpo after the short trip to Chicago. Steps in for the steal. 2 steps later, he's at the rim.
Yeah, but you can't just throw it to him. You should throw it to your teammate. Just do it right there.
This is why we have a coach on the set.
Yeah. Throw it to your teammate, please. When he's running, I tell you what, everybody just get out of the way. He finishes so hard at the rim.
Second quarter, Chris Dunn to Zach LaVine. Knocks down the 3, and then it's Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, nice play.
Daniel Gafford with a nice night tonight.
How about Giannis?
If he does this consistently,
it's over. I mean, if he can make the 3 all the time, he's impossible to guard as it is.
He had 2 of 6 in this game. That's good enough. Kobe White heats up from the 3-point line in the 4th. Finished with 13. That one gave them the lead at 99-98. We got ourselves a ball game in the Windy City.
And Roy Williams should have came to see Kobe White earlier.
Right.
Because since then,
he's been unstoppable. Giannis.
Well, that's unstoppable. Put him in the post. You saw him go left, go right, both box. You cannot guard him down there.
33 and 10, 30 or more in 7 of their last 8 games. To Andrew Wiggins for the 3rd straight game as the Wolves landed in Salt Lake on Monday. Karl Anthony Towns, that's a casual 3.
And this is one of the rare tough matchups for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Dante Exum, interception and the throwdown. That was his only bucket of the night.
And if
Jeff
you watch,
Teague, no.
Nice follow by Cat. But if you watch against Rudy Gobert, Towns stays on the perimeter, opens up the paint, and nice move. Oof, I tell you what. Oof. Hard move there, but Rudy Gobert said no.
No. Not going to happen, and they get the bucket on the other end with Bojan Bogdanovic's 5th 3-pointer of the game. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Give him the old...
That's a Rondo.
Yeah.
Jarrett Culver there. The rookie.
Didn't see that in the Big 12.
Nope. And Texas Tech, they don't have that.
Towns goes to work late.
Man.
That's a tough shot.
Karl Anthony Towns, 7 of 15 from 3-point range. 29, 13, and 5. Utah shot under 37%. Kyrie Irving still sidelined by his right shoulder as the Pacers took to the herringbone in Brooklyn with the Pacers in town. Spencer Dinwiddie starting and scoring. He had 28.
Unfortunately, no one else did much for Brooklyn. They struggled after Dinwiddie.
That was the second part of the story, yeah. A lot of Pacers. Domantas Sabonis. Know your holidays. Aaron to Justin for 3. And then Aaron to T.J. Warren. I don't know if you know this, but the Pacers lead the league in TJs.
Okay.
They've got all 3 of them. Corner 3 there. Sabonis goes for 16 and a career high, 18 boards. 3rd quarter, it's the holidays.
This is the younger brother,
Aaron. And this is Justin.
The oldest of the 3.
And presumably Drew was at home somewhere or on the road watching. Yeah.
Maybe Drew was at the game watching.
Maybe he was. Justin had 20. T.J. Warren cutting, and then Aaron Holiday. Aaron had 24. Justin had 20 on the night, and the Pacers get the win. 8 days after the Cavs' rout of the Knicks that led to the infamous post-game press conference, a chance for revenge for the New York Knicks.
And no Kevin Love tonight, so it makes it a little bit easier for the Knicks, but this was a good game for this team.
Julius Randle had the feeling.
Ooh, shooting threes, driving, left-handed, people. I don't know if you know that. He is left-handed.
Putting it on the deck, knocking it down from 3. He's doing it all. 3 of 5 from out there. He had 23 in the first half. Double-digit lead for the Knicks at the break. Had the crowd on their side. People are happy.
This Knicks team, they needed this. This is now 2 wins out of their last 3. And a really tough loss a couple nights ago to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Last second.
And I think just playing harder and competing, getting after it, that's what the New York Knicks fans want. I think that's what they were saying. We need more of that, and Fizdale's got them playing better.
Put up a season-high 123 in a win. We'll revisit a couple of the top performances of the night when we come back. James Harden was relatively quiet, but still deadly against the Blazers, while Luka Doncic let it rip in Big D against the Spurs with a Mavericks first. 6, and it's currently a 1-point game, 84-83, with the Clippers on top at Staples. Let's get you there for a crunch time finish. Brian Seaman, Chauncey Billups with 1:45 to go.
Magruder comes away with a jump ball against Steven Adams.
You look at Montrez. He likes going right. Everybody knows that. Nice little hesitation dribble. Too fast, too athletic for Steven Adams on that baseline. This is the big-time play right here by Rodney Magruder. I thought that was a foul, not a jump ball, if you ask me.
Well, Magruder, as scrappy as they get, will go up against Adams. I've said it before, I'll take heart over height. And Adams wins the tip. Thunder look for the lead. Gallo pretends to shoot the 3. Plenty of time on the clock for Oklahoma City. Chris Paul, watched by Paul George, late in the clock. Flings a 3 for the lead, no. And the rebound tipped out. Second chance opportunity for Oklahoma City. Stripped.
What a play right there by Pat Bev. Now, you talk about knowing your personnel. Everybody knows that shooter wants to go right all the time.
Montrez does it again.
And how about the pass right there through the legs by Lou Will?
28 points from Montrezl Harrell. Gallo for 3. We are tied.
This game got good real fast right here, Vitamin B.
The crowd stands as one in the background. Paul George flirts with the defense. Stripped by Chris Paul. Paul theatrically falls over and draws the whistle.
And I know everybody has seen this play a million times here in Clipperland. You knew Chris Paul was going to find a body to jump into and make a heady play right there.
Paul George disagrees with the whistle. Chris Paul, meanwhile, a little shaken up on the play. And he'll go to the free throw line here, and a chance to put Oklahoma City out in front.
Such a crafty veteran move right there by Chris Paul, knowing that his team is in the bonus. You're not going to get a better shot than an open free throw for a great free throw shooter.
Chris Paul with 21 points. 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Timeout, Clippers. Oklahoma City leads by 2 with 31 seconds to play in the game. So the Clippers here
You've got 31 seconds. Do you just play for a normal basket, or as we talked about to close out the third quarter, do you try to go 2 for 1 here?
Well, the game is on the line right now, Brian. You don't worry about a 2 for 1 situation. You worry about what's the best shot that we can possibly get. Now, obviously, you got Montrez that's playing amazing. He has a matchup that you like at this time of the game. Paul George, and we've seen this the other night in New Orleans. They had a smaller guy and Drew Holiday on him. Did a good job of getting his hands on a couple of his basketballs. Chris Paul just did the same thing. So maybe you go Sweet Lou in the pick and roll with Montrez, and you maybe space out Paul George to get Chris Paul off of a ball handler.
I'll state the obvious, but this is where it comes in handy to have overall a few closers on your team. Paul George, one of those, the other currently playing Lou Williams.
Absolutely. I mean, and you can obviously, especially tonight, you can count Montrez as one of those guys that you can go to for the win. The only thing that I would say about Montrez is he's not shooting 80-something% from the free throw line. And you want that guy to, at least if he gets fouled, to be able to knock him down, even though Montrez has been very, very good from the free throw line this season.
JaMychal Green out there to join Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, Pat Beverly, and Lou Williams. Pat will inbound. Clippers have a timeout remaining, and a whistle on either side is going to be free throws. Lou to Paul George, curling, catching. Oh, damn! The Clippers take a 1-point lead.
The genius of Doc Rivers, out of timeout plays, into the game plays, did a great job. We talked about Paul George didn't need to put it down on the ground with Chris Paul. Well, how about coming off of a down screen for a quick, tight curl, not for 2, for 3. What about the timing of this play? Slip the pick and roll. What a play right there drawn up by Doc Rivers. One of the best we've seen at drawing up plays and getting his players wide open shots. It's a big time play, Brian.
But how about not being in a moment like this for over 200 days for Paul George and coming in and hitting the shot of the night so far?
Well, if you're Paul George, you're looking for another opportunity. Turn the ball over in a big time moment against Chris Paul down there. You're looking for another opportunity to get your lick back, if you will, and make a huge, huge shot with Chris Paul guarding.
The 3 has not been there all night. Paul George, 3 for 7. The rest of the team, 7 for 29.
Well, I think if you're the Thunder right now, you're down 1. You're not worrying about going quick. You're worrying about getting the right shot available. And you can't dribble the clock out because, again, you're down. In case you miss the shot, you have to foul and play the free throw game and try to get another possession later on. So I'm not saying go quick, but within 10 seconds here, you want to get the best shot available.
Well, the first 45 minutes were a bit of a struggle, but this game went from 0 to 100 real quick here. Clippers by 1. Gallo gives to Chris. Magruder on him. Great defense by the Clippers. Shea for the lead. Gallo recovers the ball. One more chance for Oklahoma City. Gallinari a whistle and a foul on the floor will send him to the line for 2.
Wow. I didn't see that. Might be time for a challenge right here, Brian.
They have the challenge. I'd be lying to you that I'd be excited about the results considering some of the things we've seen here this season.
See, if you're official right here, you can't just guess at a moment like this. There's no foul there at all. You can't just guess and make a call just because. This is a big-time moment right now.
Doc Rivers 0 for 3 in challenges this year.
Oh for 3. I thought he won one time, Brian. I thought he won one for us that time.
Should have won.
Still 0 for 3.
You know what?
The 0 for 3 is over right now. They're definitely going to. The Clippers are going to win this challenge.
I'm going to have to get to my analytics department, and I'll get back to you on that one, Chauncey. Either way, this one is the one that matters. Woof.
Well, this is one instance right here where if the Clippers do win this, you're saying, thank goodness for this challenge. And also thank goodness that we didn't use the challenge earlier in the game.
Doc has been not happy with the challenge. He doesn't like it at all in general.
Well, we'll see what he says about this one.
I agree. That's why I brought it up. He might change his tune really fast here.
No foul on the play. Play's overturned. OKC has the ball on the OKC ball on the side.
Might hear the loudest ovation of the night here. This call is overturned.
Well, it is overturned, but here's what you have. You have Billy Donovan right there that's able to draw up a play while everybody's waiting. Also, Doc Rivers as well, able to draw one up. But while everybody's waiting and seeing, is Billy Donovan saying, okay, this is what we're running, guys. Let's be organized.
Had that been a foul, it would have been free throws. Both teams in the penalty.
And if you're the Clippers, you like where you're at because you're saying, we're a defensive basketball team. Let's give ourselves an opportunity to win it the way that we like to play. That's on the defensive end.
The shot clock is turned off. The Clippers can win it with a defensive stop right here. Ferguson to inbound. Gallinari. Chased by Harkless. Rises for the shot and the lead. No! George with a rebound. Ball game! The officials want to make sure.
And again, we talked about it. If you're the Los Angeles Clippers, you hang your hat on the defensive side of the ball. Very good defense right here. You look at Gallo. He wanted to get Montrez on the switch right here, calling that pick and roll. Montrez up on the screen. Nice contest without fouling. Very good defensive possession to end this basketball game.
And Steve Ballmer very excited as he has been one to be. And Gallo got a good look. I'm not sure there was a foul. That's what they're reviewing right there. I'm not even sure there was any contact. I think this game is over. Win, lose, or draw here.
Well, Steven Adams certainly fouled him right there. I don't know if...
There you go.
Yeah, that was definitely a reach-in foul. I mean, they could have let it go, but obviously...
I was looking at Terrence Ferguson. Right. There you go. So Paul George goes to the free throw line. 0.3 seconds remain. Oklahoma City has a timeout remaining. Needless to say, the odds are not good for the Thunder. And the Clippers looking to win for the 9th time this year in an ugly affair. But the final 3 minutes, a lot of positives to draw from.
It did. It got very exciting. And you look at, we've talked about this several times, Brian. To be a great team, you have to be really good at home, and you have to be able to win ugly games at times. This was an ugly basketball game. Nice miss on purpose right there by Paul George. But needless to say, very good win. You put it in the left-hand column.
The Clippers shoot only 40%. They hold Oklahoma City to 37%. Paul George, limited minutes tonight, 29, but he makes the shot of the game, a three that puts the Clippers up for good. And the Clippers wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Montrezl Harrell. 28 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Ivica Zubac did work early, 12 and 10 for him. We'll take a look at the Paul George bucket here.
I mean, big-time bucket. Nice screen away. Caught Chris Paul sleeping right there. Nice screen by the big fella. And how about...
It was close all night long, and by a razor's edge, the Clippers hang on to win 90-88. If you're just with us, neither team led by more than 6 all night long. That is just about unheard of in NBA games when it ebbs and flows with runs and somebody's up 10 and the other team's up 12. This was so tight all night long, and it was because of the defense of both teams. The Clippers ended up shooting just over 40%. OKC just over 37% on the night. And as it so often comes down to a couple of calls, a couple of big made shots, and we'll take you through a couple of these moments. First, we'll go to the last significant play of the game, and that was that challenged foul call. This coach's challenge thing has been rocky, to say the least, the first few weeks. A lot of people don't like it, frankly. I'm probably one of those folks, but this is why it's in place, because it worked here late.
Yeah, no, this is one of those rules that when it goes your way, you like it. When it doesn't go your way, of course, you don't want it. And that's simplistic, but it's the truth. And, you know, ultimately, right there was the reach.
Okay, but you look where the referee is, and look where he's just guessed on that one because he has to look through the defensive man's body. He can't see this. Watch. See where he's standing? And he called it. And that drove me crazy as a coach. I said, if you don't see it, don't call it. Right. And so right there, look at, he's got to be able to see through the body at the angle at which he called it. And you can't do that. So
you saw a defender reach, but you can't really tell what his hand's doing.
Well, no, because his body's in the way. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's the one they overruled it, which was the way it should be. Yep. The coach's challenge worked, but those kind of fouls drive you as a player and a coach bananas because the guy's guessing. And my big thing is don't guess.
Yeah. And by the way, this is the argument for saving your challenge till the end of the game. Yeah. There have been all sorts of discussions about when you should use it. Should you use it in the second quarter when your star player picks up a third or fourth foul? Yeah. Well, this is the argument for keeping it till the end of the game because it's exactly what Doc Rivers, who, by the way, was 0 for 3 on coaches' challenges until tonight, exactly what he needed.
Well, certainly a big one goes his way, especially after a big-time shot there by Paul George. I mean, Paul George, I know we're talking challenge, but 2 huge nights and then a game winner.
Yeah.
I mean, he is proving that he is once again, I mean, he's returned at MVP level.
Yeah, but it's not a game. There's no chance of that if not for Montrezl Harrell.
No doubt.
Who was rebounding and rolling and finishing at the rim, beating people off the dribble. He is playing at an unbelievable level coming off that bench for the Clippers.
Single-handedly outscored the Thunder bench tonight, 28-27. The Paul George three-pointer, to your point, 70 points in his first 2 games as a Clipper. First Clipper ever to debut with back-to-back 30-point games. And tonight, the numbers in a low-scoring game, the numbers were never going to be there. But he did hit 7 of 14 shots when he was out there, 18 on the night, 7 boards, 4 assists, a bunch of turnovers in an ugly game. But the biggest shot of the night.
Yeah, and a nice play by Doc Rivers. Had a little back pick that Paul George set. And then Montrezl Harrell came down and set a pick for him to come up and make that 3. So, really a kind of a, at that point you're down 2. To call that three-pointer out of a timeout, for a game winner, that was big by Doc Rivers. A very nice drawn-up play by Doc, who's very good at it. Matter of fact, you're going to see it right here. There's the pick by Harrell, and George lined it up and knocked it down. And this is after he had the ball stolen from him by Chris Paul, so kind of a little redemption.
Well, this was and a gutsy performance here by Oklahoma City.
Yes.
But what are the Clippers going to look like when they get Kawhi and Paul George playing at this level? This is why they look like the team, right? Or we think they look like the team that's going to contend for the whole thing.
Well, they're the team that was favored by many to win the NBA title, which is still a difficult sentence to say that the LA Clippers were favored to win. It's hard to imagine, right? And we unfortunately still have to imagine what they'll look like with Kawhi and Paul George on the floor together because it still hasn't happened yet. If you're just with us, Kawhi Leonard out again tonight with that knee contusion, so we still have to wonder what the Clips can be with those two sharing court space.
Yeah, and we start to get a little bit concerned about the knee. This is 3 games now. We know he previously hadn't played in the 2 sets of back-to-backs. We thought this was all just the next plan, but he's missed a couple more games here. And, going back before this injury or these couple games he's missed, he just didn't look great against Toronto and that game in Houston. It just looked like it was a little harder, not quite as much energy as we're used to from Kawhi.
Yeah, hopefully it is just a contusion because contusions are going to heal. It just takes some time, a little bit sore. And it's a long season, and what they want to be is healthy and playing really well next March into April,
right?
Getting into the playoffs. there's very few championships. The Thanksgiving championship doesn't mean much. And that's coming up, by the way. And people are shooting 50% from the three, and they're going to do it all year long. And we're back to that? Okay, I can't get off that. I'm sorry. But, yeah, the Thanksgiving championship doesn't mean much. So they're looking long-term, and getting those two guys together on the floor, I'm interested in watching them defensively. They can switch so much stuff. You throw Montrezl Harrell, who can guard a bunch of people, and Patrick Beverly, who's not afraid to guard anybody. Really an interesting defensive group of players the Clippers have.
And this is what we've been talking about since they paired all these folks together back in the summertime, that for however long it takes the offense to come together, they can win games like this one they did tonight because of that defense. Even without Kawhi on the floor, they're just good defensive players out there.
No, they're good defensive players. They got a great coaching staff. You know, they have depth. The team has been built to fit together. You know, and I know the Clippers don't have a lot of tools in terms of draft picks because they traded them all for essentially what was Kawhi and Paul George, of course. But I just don't put it past this team, this front office, to find a way, you know, to make another tweak to add to this roster down the road. I don't know if it's a young player on their team or not.
I tell you what.
They're going to keep adding.
Wes, you're not tweaking with young guys. You're not tweaking with a 20-year-old kid for this lot roster. You're going to tweak with guys that want to come and win a championship.
That's right. Going to be
veteran guys.
Buyout guys.
That's what I'm saying. Buyout guys that are saying, look, I want to win a championship. I got a couple years left. I'll take minimum. I'll take less to go there. Because, you know, you can't throw a rookie into these situations very often. It's got to be a very unique rookie. And there's only been a handful of guys that have been able to come in and have a significant role on a championship team as a rookie, just so.
And I agree with you, and I'm more talking about this opportunity early on, where some of these young players get to play now. That provides value across the league. Attaching one of those young players with maybe an expiring contract in the trade market down the road to add a veteran to the team, because you're absolutely right. It has to be a veteran to add to this group. I'm just saying that this front office is going to take advantage of the opportunity of playing these young players, establishing value league-wide, and they're not going to stand pat. If there's an opportunity to improve their team, they'll do it again.
Yeah.
And they're always those buyout guys. There are always a handful of those guys ring hunting after they're bought out around the trade deadline. By the way, what does that Thanksgiving championship trophy look like?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah, looks like a turkey.
I was thinking like one of those cornucopia things.
No, just a turkey.
50% from three to get it.
Can I sell you on the cornucopia cup?
No, it's just a turkey.
It's got a ring to it. It's got a nice ring.
It's a doggone turkey. Let it go.
Right.
Nobody wants to win that.
It's a turkey, and it's non-existent. Clippers get the win tonight on their own 490-88. On the way, highlights from all the other games on this Monday night. Triple-double for Russell Westbrook, and an easy night for the Rockets against the Blazers. Cole Anthony in a Portland Trail Blazers uniform and set to make his debut in New Orleans against the Pelicans at 8 Eastern time. Then it's the Thunder and Lakers from Staples Center. The night begins at 6 Eastern time with the warm-up. Blazers could have used Melo or somebody. Bill Walton. Rockets ready for launch. Right, a 7-game win streak.
That guy's committed.
He's completely committed.
No question.
To the role. There's got to be a larger story there. James Harden is committed.
Three-pointer plus
the Rockets
one.
are committed to him.
Yes. This is why he's really unguardable. When he's putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the hoop, it's just amazing. I think he gets another three here. Let's see. You should guard him. He's leading the league in scoring it.
Generally a good idea. Yeah. The Blazers did not on that play, and Harden made him pay. And then more Harden, step back, and what's the Cardinal rule?
Do not foul the jump shooter.
Yeah.
Especially a three-pointer when he makes it. That's 4 points.
They did that too. Although, you know, Harden only took 10 free throws on the night and only made 9. So that's progress if you're a defense. Second half, triple-double watch. Harden with the steal. Russell Westbrook to Clint Capella back in the lineup. Good to see him back.
And this is the pace that we talk about with Houston this year. Much better. Bottom of the league last year, top of the league this year.
And you see when Russell gets it, everybody runs with him because he's going after it. And he's always been able to sneak in there an offensive rebound. He's been such a tricky offensive rebounder. And again, push it up.
3 of his 13 rebounds were of the offensive variety, and then there's just no stopping him there. And that's the element you were talking about that the Rockets just haven't had the last few years.
One of the best one-man breaks in the league, without question.
Westbrook eventually to Harden. It touched about 3 other Blazers before it got to him. 141st triple-double for Westbrook. Harden with a relatively quiet 36-point night. Celtics 10-game win streak ended in Sacramento Sunday. They were in Phoenix on Monday. Jason Tatum steals it, throws it down.
Long jumps in that passing lane. I like that. Turn your defense into offense, young man.
Dario Saric to Aaron Baines for the dunk. Phoenix up by 2. End of a 6-game homestand for the Suns here. Marcus Smart always making an impact.
I mean, he is the heart and soul of this team, especially on the defensive end. But he's making threes this year.
Finds Kemba Walker there. Kemba had 19 on the night.
I was a willing passer, too. And there you go, Kemba again. He was attacking.
Boston had a 15-point lead at the half. Tatum taking things over here in the third.
Nice little pass there from Smart.
I think Jason Tatum has a chance, if he continues to improve, in time to be an MVP candidate. This kid's that good.
8 of 16, 26 points in this game. That's big talk from Wes Wilcox. Smart goes down, so the win comes at a price as he turns that right ankle right there. He was done for the night.
He'll spit on it and be fine.
Don't understand the spit thing, but people have been saying that forever. Spit on your injury and somehow it improves. Hornets coming off 3 straight dramatic finishes. They were in Toronto and things were far less dramatic. Raptors back from their 5-game road trip and ready to kind of put away the Hornets early on here. Fred VanVleet to Pascal Siakam. Raptors were 20 of 43 from three-point range.
He didn't call glass on that one, but if you look at the Raptors, every basket assisted on, they moved the ball so well as a group.
And
Norman Powell to Rondae Hollis-Jefferson down low.
And they attack, they defend, they get out and run, and it's great to see OG have the night he did.
Career night for OG. Speaking of Anunoby, of course. Not that there's another OG in the league.
I think OG's good enough.
Knocks down the 3. And then corner 3. He was 4 of 7 from the great beyond. Toronto leading it by a baker's dozen.
Look at that. Their defense. Everybody scrambled to the ball. 3 guys trying to get the ball, get out, another assist. And Nick Nurse has got to be at early stages Coach of the Year. Just doing a great job.
No doubt. And this team is first in the NBA in fast break points by a considerable margin. We're seeing it here again tonight. It comes off their defense.
Marc Gasol to Anunoby had a career-high 24. Raptors recorded a franchise record 40 assists in the win. Bucks and the Bulls, that means heavy doses of that guy Giannis Antetokounmpo after the short trip to Chicago. Steps in for the steal. 2 steps later, he's at the rim.
Yeah, but you can't just throw it to him. You should throw it to your teammate. Just do it right there.
This is why we have a coach on the set.
Throw it to your teammate, please. When he's running, I tell you what, everybody just get out of the way. He finishes so hard at the rim.
Second quarter, Chris Dunn to Zach LaVine. Knocks down the 3, and then it's Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, nice play.
Daniel Gafford with a nice night tonight.
How about Giannis?
If he does this consistently,
it's over. I mean, if he can make the 3 all the time, he's impossible to guard as it is.
He had 2 of 6 in this game. That's good enough. Kobe White heats up from the 3-point line in the 4th. Finished with 13. That one gave them the lead at 99-98. We got ourselves a ball game in the Windy City.
And Roy Williams should have came to see Kobe White earlier.
Right.
Because since then,
he's been unstoppable. Giannis and
that's unstoppable. Put him in the post. You saw him go left, go right, both blocks. You cannot guard him down there.
33 and 10, 30 or more in 7 of their last 8 games. To Andrew Wiggins for the 3rd straight game as the Wolves landed in Salt Lake on Monday. Karl Anthony Towns, that's a casual 3.
And this is one of the rare tough matchups for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Dante Exum, interception and the throwdown. That was his only bucket of the night.
And if
Jeff
you watch,
Teague, no.
Nice follow by Cat. But if you watch against Rudy Gobert, Towns stays on the perimeter, opens up the paint, and nice move. Oof, I tell you what. Oof. Hard move there, but Rudy Gobert said no.
No. Not going to happen, and they get the bucket on the other end with Bojan Bogdanovic's 5th three-pointer of the game. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Give him the old...
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett Culver there. The rookie.
Didn't see that in the Big 12.
Nope.
And Texas Tech, they don't have that.
Towns goes to work late.
Man.
That's a tough shot.
Karl Anthony Towns, 7 of 15 from 3-point range, 29, 13, and 5. Utah shot under 37%. Kyrie Irving still sidelined by his right shoulder as the Pacers took to the herringbone in Brooklyn with the Pacers in town. Spencer Dinwiddie starting and scoring. He had 28.
Unfortunately, no one else did much for Brooklyn. They struggled after Dinwiddie. No one
That
else
was the
got it
second
going.
part of the story, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Pacers. Domantas Sabonis, Know Your Holidays. Aaron to Justin for 3. And then Aaron to T.J. Warren. I don't know if you know this, but the Pacers lead the league in TJs.
Okay.
They've got all 3 of them. Corner 3 there. Sabonis goes for 16 and a career high, 18 boards. Third quarter, it's the holidays.
This is the younger brother,
Aaron. And this is Justin.
the oldest of the 3.
And presumably Drew was at home somewhere or
Watching?
on the road watching. Yeah.
Maybe Drew was at the game watching.
Maybe he was. Justin had 20. T.J. Warren cutting, and then Aaron Holiday. Aaron had 24. Justin had 20 on the night, and the Pacers get the win. 8 days after the Cavs' rout of the Knicks that led to the infamous post-game press conference, a chance for revenge for the New York Knicks.
And no Kevin Love tonight, so it makes it a little bit easier for the Knicks, but this was a good game for this team.
Julius Randle had the feeling.
Ooh, shooting threes, driving. Left-handed, people. I don't know if you know that. He is left-handed.
Putting it on the deck, knocking it down from 3. He's doing it all. 3 of 5 from out there. He had 23 in the first half. Double-digit lead for the Knicks at the break. Had the crowd on their side. People are happy.
This Knicks team, they needed this. This is now 2 wins out of their last 3. And a really tough loss a couple nights ago to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Last second.
And I think just playing harder and competing, getting after it, that's what the New York Knicks fan wants. And I think that's what they were saying. We need more of that. And Fizdale's got him playing better.
Put up a season-high 123 in a win. We'll revisit a couple of the top performances of the night when we come back. James Harden was relatively quiet, but still deadly against the Blazers, while Luka Doncic let it rip in Big D against the Spurs with a Mavericks first. Rough shot over the Blazers in a 132-108 win. James Harden had a ho-hum 36, slightly below his season average, while Russell Westbrook at 18, 13, and 10, his 141st career triple-double. He spoke with Haley Griffin.
What did you see from the Blazers defense tonight that allowed you to find those lanes and attack so fluidly?
One-on-one, man. It's hard to stop us one-on-one. And when we attack the basket, I get whatever I want. It's up to me to making the right plays.
We saw you push the ball coast to coast for a layup in 4 seconds. Your speed has changed the entire dynamic of this Rockets offense. How comfortable do you feel this team is adjusting to your speed?
Trying to get there. My job is to keep challenging our guys to better run the floor, run with me, and my job is to push the pace and use my energy to better bring the team together.
This team has preached defense since game 1, and over the last 5 games, you've had the best defensive rating in the NBA. What changed?
Everyone taking pride in locking the defender up, one by one, man to man. We locking guys up, and I think we're taking pride now. We got to continue to do that if we want to win the ring.
I don't want to say there's a correlation, but tonight is your first bobblehead night ever.
You know, it's my first bobblehead. I never had a bobblehead since I've been in the league, so
should we have more?
Sure, why not?
Everyone should get a triple-double on their bobblehead night. Also, another Texas triple-double on Monday night, Luka Doncic, who trails Russ by 127 triple-doubles at the moment all time, but the 14th of his career made him the second youngest ever to put up a 40-point triple-double at the age of 20. Strictly as a scorer, what is his potential?
Unlimited, because he can make the jump shot. He's got that little step-back move. And he's now starting to score in the paint. He's much more effective at getting to the paint and finishing around the basket. But everything's set up with the fact that the guy can make a long jump shot. And he's got the runner. He's got the entire package. And now that he's stronger and finishing better at the paint, he's really almost unguardable. But again, I know you're talking strictly scoring. You got to throw in the passing. I just think his playmaking, he's got the unique ability to make everybody on his team better. Whether you're a big man, a little man, it doesn't matter what position you play with him, you're going to get open looks.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, second in the league in assists right now and 4th in free throw attempts. He gets the foul line, and he's got Dallas as the second best offense in the NBA. This is a young MVP candidate. leading this Dallas team, what looks like to be highly competitive in the Western Conference.
It's amazing. 6th in the league in scoring. And again, he's just 20 years of age.
It's incredible.
It's just not normal, right?
LeBron,
in NBA history, there just aren't
Magic.
many guys, and they're all guys on that list you saw earlier. Coming up with Melo set to make his Blazers debut Tuesday, we'll talk about the match and the next phase of Carmelo's career.